Oh, Sinya uli di sombranza tanmak e zuita saluda antes di niga radzaudzan malak estrezas durante todo memu a nogi distancia como gupugi palu Zangiman malak guafi ikonuna sugi airi prebatu la noci nai banderata gaigi pues Atan Fanny Bandera, kau esta pagua pumalapa, giluk tanu man libri, sentamiti man ko badi. Ile shaku la la la. Did to get into stop that? 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 Esti who what bit my ihilo tani biblia ibandera mohan yes 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 ibandera mohan
Good morning. Good morning on you guys. What is up? Good morning, Link Fam. Cheers. How are you guys? My name is Christopher. Chris, good morning. Chris Barnett. Welcome to the Link here. I'm back Wednesday, April 27th. First of all, thank you to Jason Solis and Kin Conception, Joe Sir, also Sabrina for a little bit for filling in on the Link here. Really appreciate you guys, and thank you. Good morning. So anything happened while I was gone? A lot, boss. A lot happened while I was gone, which we're going to talk about this morning. There's actually a lot happening last night. Good morning on you guys. Facebook Live. We're brought to you by Calvo Enterprises, ITN and Jack in the Box. Good morning. KUAM News, Facebook Live. Good morning on you guys. It's been a while. Thank you. I missed you too. It's good to be back. Great to be back, actually. It was a beautiful morning. Cloudy. I had a very nice break from work. I think the best thing I did during my break was I became a pescador. Yeah, I did. Did you guys show the picture? Right, yeah. Thank you, because then after you guys showed that, everybody was asking me for fish. And I only caught one 20-pound wahoo fish. It's not a lot, but, if you cut it up into small pieces, you're good. Good morning, 6:23. I almost forgot how to do this. Almost. But no, I'm here. And there's definitely a lot going on this morning. We are going to have the chairman of the Democrat. There's my picture. Yes, that's right. Pescador! That's it. Thank you to my cello Mike for taking me out on the boat. It was fun. It was great. Really, going out on the boat, just leaving behind. Thank you, sir. Leaving behind the island, just getting out, right? Feeling the salt of the sea spraying on your face, the rocking of the motion of the ocean. And just when you give up, just when you give up and you say, these fish, they're not feeling me today. Turn around. Let's head back in. Sometimes when you give up, that's when you make the biggest catch of all. All right. So, yes, I'm so glad that we didn't give up. We did U-turn and head back to Boat Basin where we were trolling. We left the lines out and boom, right around Hospital Point. That's crazy. First time I ever caught a wahoo. It was awesome. Really good. Delicious, too. It's one of my favorite fishies. Good. It's good stuff, sir. Thank you. Is it still? You can take it down now. That fish is all gone, ladies and gentlemen. It's gone. Okay, there's no more. No more left. Good morning. So, good morning, Facebook Live. Yeah, so that's what I did on my leave. I went on break, just spent time with the kids. Of course, there was an Easter in there. Great Easter. It was really nice. Had all the family over, and I did a Easter brunch from scratch. A little pricey. A lot pricey to get out to the hotels. You know what I mean? Especially if you're prolific with the children. I got 5 kids. I go to brunch with 5 kids. I got to take out a loan. I'm serious because it's like $40, $50 a pop. So, they love it homemade. We had a nice homemade lunch. My little nanny girl, Callie Joe, hit a bunch of, what we did this year was I bought a bunch of Haichu and Starburst, and we opened up the plastic eggs and we put all the candies in there. And then there was one golden egg with, about $20. And then my older kids hid the eggs all through the house, and we had an Easter egg hunt. We had fun times, fun times. You know, one other thing that I like to do with my kids that's really fun is so in my living room, I sleep in the living room. I got a couple mattresses and a couple futons kind of stacked up on each other. It works really great for my back. And then I got a projector. And so what we do a lot is we watch movies in the living room and we project it up onto the wall. But my kids love it. I don't know if you guys do this with your kids, but they love it when I scare them. And so we'll do this whole thing. We're like, oh, they'll start when I, get them. They're like, Dad, can you scare us tonight? And so we turn off all the lights, and then they kind of like hide under the blanket. And then I make a big deal about sneaking up or throwing stuff. It's fun. It's a good time. So I got to do a lot of that during the break, which, let me tell you, play is good. It's always good to have fun, you know what I mean? And unplug. And I'm sorry, I know a lot of people were trying to get a hold of me during the break, but I just was on break, and I just really needed to kind of like reset. You know what I mean? I was just doing a lot of reflection on everything that we've been through, right? Throughout this pandemic all the way to where we're sitting right now, which is, to me, looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. The outdoor mask mandate, a lot of you guys don't know that we had one, but that has since been lifted. May 3rd, I believe, is when. This is really good coffee. We don't have Keurig in EPAN. But May 3rd, if I'm tracking that correctly, if I missed anything, May 3rd is when the indoor mask mandate is going to be lifted. And in case you're wondering, here in the studio, Joe Sir is masked up, and then I gave up the whole mask thing a while back. Yeah, so where are we? Coming up on the show, Maria Pangilinan from the Guam Election Commission. Around 8 o'clock hour, guys, we're getting Tony Babalta, the Democratic Party chair. And then around 8:30 or so, Maria Pangilinan. What does this closed Democratic primary mean? Well, at this moment, what it means for me, I don't know what it means for you guys yet, but what it means for me is right now, I don't believe I would be able to vote in the Democratic primary election. Not because I am not registered to vote. I take it serious. I am registered to vote. But, and we're going to get into the weeds with this. There's differing opinions. I spoke a little bit with Miss Maria Pangilinan last night. And then, of course, we'll get Tony Babalta, the party chair, on to explain, like, the reasoning behind this, because it's pretty out of the blue. We've actually, I don't believe we've closed a primary. Let me just pop this up here, guys. Yeah, I don't believe we've closed a primary since. Oh, yeah. We have never elected governor based on a closed election, of course. Yeah. So we'll ask Tony about this. What was the motivation? Obviously, there's a big concern with the Democrats that what's going to happen is they feel like a lot of Republicans are going to cross over and vote in the Democratic primary and vote for the most Republican-y candidate on the Democrat primary side, I'm assuming. You know what I mean? So we'll find out. I don't know. But what I do know is right now, because I am registered to vote, however, it is optional to declare your party affiliation, which I did not do because well, first of all, it's kind of private, right? And I feel like a lot of people don't check that box, whether it's Democrat or Republican or whatever it is, right? And so what we're trying to figure out this morning, what we will square away with Miss Maria Pangilinan, is exactly who will be able to cast a ballot in this closed Democrat primary election. Is it going to be registered voters who have registered and declared themselves as Democrats with the Guam Election Commission? Or is it going to be registered Democrats who are registered with the Democratic Party of Guam? We're going to find out. But this definitely, as the story on KUAM News, it's a great story here. This kind of came down not late last night, but it was definitely a little bit after dark. Nestor Lecanto reports here at KUAM.com. Democrat primary Oh, also we got the news, guys. Like I said, I almost forgot how to do this. We got the news coming up. You know how it is when I come on. I like to just talk for a little bit, and then we'll get into the news. We got Mayor Jesse Alig coming in to play a little catch up. We're also getting, like I said, the party chair, Mr. Tony Babalta, as well as the executive director of the Guam Election Commission, Miss Maria Pangilinan. That's coming up at 8. I wanted to give you guys a chance to get the kids ready, all that stuff, eat your breakfast, drink your coffee, and just get ready for that discussion, which is coming up at 8 o'clock. We've got the link update also on the way. Good morning. Okay, so let me just read this story here. Democrat Party officials vote to close the August 27th primary election by Nestor Lecanto in a rare move that could have significant election impact, right? Because how it normally works, guys, how we've been doing it, what we've grown accustomed to is an open primary, which is what we're used to. You show up, you vote, you know what I mean? They don't ask for the papers. You just go and you vote. And if you're a Republican, a giraffe, a Democrat, whatever you're identifying as, you can go and vote. But now with the Democratic Party, because the primaries are like the party elections, right? And they're open for everyone to participate in, but they don't have to be. See, a lot of people didn't know that the parties, obviously, well, now you know, they have the ability to close off their primary. And that's what they did. So let me just continue reading this here. In a rare move that could have significant election impact, Democratic Party officials have voted to close their August 27th primary election. Guam Election Commission Executive Director Maria Pangilinan confirms that a party can unilaterally make that decision if it is in their bylaws. We're waiting on a comment from the party chair, Tony Babalta, and Leon Guerrero Tenorio campaign chair, Francis Santos. The Democratic Party also issued a statement saying it took action based on a court decision confirming the party can close its primary, and that the GEC's Pangilinan said she would abide by it. The statement goes on to say that the vote by the Central Executive Committee of the Democratic Party of Guam to close received, quote, overwhelming support with 30 yeas, 5 nays, and 1 abstain. Meanwhile, Democratic challenger Congressman Michael Nicholas issued a news release calling it, quote, the latest political move by the Lou and Josh team to deny people their freedom to vote for whom they choose in the primary election. He also singled out party chairman Tony Babalta for proposing to close the primary. San Nicolas's running mate, Sabrina Salas Matanani, said, quote, if the Democratic Party is going to deny people their right to choose regardless of party, we will rally the people with an independent ticket. This story is developing. Boy, that's an understatement. Way to end that one, Nestor. This story is developing. Oh, yeah, it's developing. Rapidly developing. And I just think, to be clear, this is not a rare move. This is actually a never-before-done move. I believe, this is the first time in our history that this has been done. So that's what's happening with that. I don't know, guys, what that means. I just know that right now I cannot vote in the primary. And just talking around with some people last night, what does this all mean? Well, how far are we going to get? I believe there's a meeting next week with the Democratic Party. So if there's enough backlash maybe, or if people kind of understand this process more, and then maybe if they do have a problem with it, you got to wonder if this is an issue they're going to revisit, or if this is just, it is what it is, set in stone. That's just the way it's going to be coming up in the primary. Again, so we'll get Tony Babalta and Miss Maria Pangilinan coming up at 8, right here on the link. It's 6:34. My name is Chris. Good morning. Right on. Thank you, guys. Facebook Live, what are we doing this morning? Let me check you guys out here. Thank you. I forgot how to work the Facebook, sir. Okay, so I go here, and then to do the comments. Thank you, right on. Okay, so thank you. Let's get into some of these comments here. There were some comments. We posted this story last night on our Instagram. Well, first of all, D. Marie Salas Flores says, big pescador. Thank you, ma'am. You know, it's not easy being a fisherman. I got to apply for that CARES Act, the Fisherman's Relief. Mark Santos, nice catch. Yes, the island is beautiful from out in a boat. Yes, it is, my friend. Marcy Flores, good morning, everyone. Welcome back, Chris. Hope you had a great vacation. I sure did. Susa Suico, good morning and welcome back, Chris. Chamarita Regis. Hi, Chamarita Regis. Hafide, good morning. Chris, Jason, Joser, KUAM Guam, and CNMI from the beautiful hillside of Sin City, Sinahanya. Rosemary comments, it means that the all-in knows they will lose this election. Auntie Agnes, good morning on you. I remember before I went on leave, sir, Auntie Agnes had said that when I came back from my leave, she was going to bring us some baked treats. I'm just randomly putting that out there. Auntie Agnes, good morning on you. And welcome back, Caroline. Good morning, KUAM. Good morning, Connie Rivera. Good morning, Connie. Mama Bear Debbie Davis, good morning. Frame and Lonnie Tyron, good to meet you, Frame and Lonnie. I met them when I was on leave. Nice to meet you guys. Let the election begin. Laughing emoji. Yes, hee ha ha. Rosemary LaGuardia, the Democratic Party now needs to pay for the primary election. The taxpayers did not vote for that decision. And that's something we'll definitely ask Miss Maria Chamarita Regis as the election drama returns. Caroline, I'm upset with this nonsense that's going on with the election. It is crazy. Claire Castro, buenas, good morning. Welcome back, Chris. Looking chilled. Thank you, Claire. Yes. Rosemary LaGuardia. So who is the Democratic Party endorsing, Judy Wampat or Talina Nelson for Congress? That's something we didn't even get to talk about. Coming up here, Frame and Lonnie Tyron comments. Unbelievable. Mike Gogui, good morning on you, my friend. Ivan Jr. Leon Guerrero, good morning. And like what Grandpa used to tell me, Bula Politrix. Yeah, I just got to quote the governor on this. It is what it is. That saying, it started as kind of like a scratch our head when the high up government officials would say it. But it's taken on a whole new meaning for me. It's like deep, right? When you really think about it, it is what it is. For example, it is what it is. The Democratic Party, through the party chair, Tony Babalta, was on this show, basically saying that they're endorsing the incumbent, which, I mean, mind you, is a little bit of a departure because traditionally in the primaries, and it does get dirty within the party, but traditionally in the primaries, everyone kind of runs their race, and then you get behind the winner of the primary. But things have definitely changed. But it is what it is in that the Democratic Party obviously can do this thing, or they wouldn't do it, or they couldn't. If they couldn't have done it, they wouldn't. But they did it. It's done. They voted on it. Is there going to be an opportunity at the next meeting where we're going to see maybe some Democrats who are on the other side? Do they have enough? I don't know what's going to happen. But as of right now, the primary for the Democratic side has been closed. And so the party in supporting the incumbents, that's just the rules of the game. I'm sorry, and that's what I mean by it is what it is. Is it a bad decision? Is it a decision that has a lot of people scratching their heads this morning? Of course. Is it a decision that they maybe shouldn't have made? Well, that's up to you guys to decide, but it's a decision that didn't come out of nowhere. Like, I actually heard about this, I want to say about a month ago, but at the time that I heard about it, my initial thought was, that's too crazy. There's no way they would do that. But like I said, all's fair in love, war, and politics and election, right? So we'll see. And I want to get more of the details, like what does it mean? Does it mean that the people of Guam are still going to foot the bill for this? Does it mean that the closed primary is going to be, in a hotel ballroom somewhere? What is the process going to be? There's a lot of questions about this, a lot of questions. And hopefully this morning we're going to keep asking questions until we get to the truth, which hopefully we'll be able to do in the 8 o'clock hour at 6:39. Wednesday, April 27, 2022. Again, my name is Chris. Cheers. Demon Cafe. Let's go to get into our link update. Sir? Right? Yes. We're going to get into our link update here with the KUAM news team. Theseus Mendiola. Here I thought roadblocks were ridiculous. The Dems stepped to an all-time low. Yeah, the backlash, guys, on this, I believe, is going to be huge because simply I feel it's just totally unheard of, right? I mean, yes, if it's in their bylaws, they could have done it, and I feel like people have been whispering about it, but it does, I don't know, to some people, I'm sure it looks like the nuclear option, Right at 6:41. Good morning, Chero Jock. Good morning from Honolulu. Good morning, my friend. Good morning, Facebook Live. Hey, we're also on streaming on the KUAM News app, Chamarita Regis. A lot of people on the link. It's very nice to see and hear new people. This link show tells all. Thank you very much. Let's go ahead and get into our first look at news here from the KUAM News team with the very latest. It is your link update right here on the link. Good morning.
This news update is brought to you by Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
Hawaiian everyone, Guahusi Isaiah Uggan, good morning. Here are your headlines on the link. A dance workout class at the Dededo precinct was startled Tuesday night by an unknown woman in distress. KUM's Hannah Devonzo reports.
When she started throwing herself on the floor, that's when we decided, I think we really need to call 911 now. I don't think we can control her.
Officers from the Guam Police Department responded to a call of a woman exhibiting unusual behavior at the former Dededo precinct. A mixed fit class was preparing to start when they noticed something wasn't right. Instructor of the class, Ledge Teodosho.
That's when I saw the lady running from the other side of the road, barefooted, and she was approaching our area, and that's when it all started.
According to Teodosho, the unidentified woman appeared to be homeless and approached the group screaming and running around frantically.
She really looked like she's paranoid of something, like something was chasing, or somebody was after her, or chasing her, that she looked scared.
The group was unable to understand the woman and called officers to the scene. Upon their arrival, she collapsed in their presence.
One of the officers noticed that she was unresponsive, so she rolled her over again, face up now. And then she looked different. Like it didn't seem to me and to the others that she was breathing. So she was trying to find some pulse and trying to feel her if she's breathing. So one of the cops started administering CPR.
The woman was transported to Guam Regional Medical City. Teodosho claims it appeared she had bruising on her face and a black eye. According to the Guam Police Department spokesperson, Berlin Sevilla, the injuries were a result of a crash she was involved in days before. The attending physician at GRMC discovered a betel nut obstructed in her airways, and she passed away Tuesday morning. The investigation remains open pending the results from the medical examiner's office. Hannah Devonzo for KUAM News.
At least 600 of the island's Manumku will be making their way to a senior center this coming Monday after closing down 2 years ago due to COVID. How our mayor is gearing up. Here's the details.
Viva Mas Manumku and welcome back.
All 12 Guam senior centers will relaunch operations on Monday, May 2nd, after being shut down a little over 2 years ago due to the ongoing global COVID-19 pandemic. KUAM News spoke with some mayors Monday who operate a senior center to see how they are preparing for the reopening.
We're doing all the repairs that need to be done with our restrooms. We retiled the floor. We're doing cleaning and painting. Just making sure that we have all the tables and chairs and proper protocols, with us still being in the pandemic of COVID.
With the little resources that we have and the help from different partners, that we're going to make sure that their return is going to be a safe one.
We're ready to welcome back our seniors. It's been a 2-year absence of them having them here in regular program operations. So we've had air filters installed. We put in these desk shields that you can see around here. We've also got smaller tables to help with social distancing. And even though that some of these are not requirements anymore, we want to make sure it's always going to be safe place for them to kind of congregate.
This reopening comes just in time for Senior Citizens Month, which is celebrated in May.
We're excited and we're looking forward to May 2nd, opening the center and seeing a lot of them again.
Although the Manilao Senior Center was used as a monoclonal antibody therapy clinic for the Department of Public Health and Social Services until Friday, Village Mayor Alig is confident they'll be ready to welcome back their elderly participants.
We've been taking action in terms of preparing the place, making sure that It's clean around, very presentable. We're very glad to have our Monokus finally come back to Manila and to the centers.
Book reading, arts and crafts, socializing with their peers are some of the exciting activities seniors can anticipate returning, just to name a few.
They're looking forward to bingo. They're looking forward to exercising. We've actually challenged our rec leader to look for other things they can do to help with, helping them with fall prevention, in-seat exercises they can do at home, things they can kind of use around just to kind of help them build that muscle mass.
Meanwhile, according to PD Mayor and Mayor's Council of Guam President Jesse Alig, some 600 senior citizens will come back to the senior centers, which is a decrease compared to pre-COVID. According to Hoffman and Savars, fear is one of the factors, among other things, in the dip.
We understand people's reservations to come here and family members to have that discussion. We also lost quite a handful over the course of these last 2 years. The seniors total enrolled, 53 will be, I get my numbers here, 53 we referred to case management, 56 said they're going to stop their meals. That's a huge number because, there's no way that we can do congregate meals and the home delivery. So that's kind of where we're at on that. And then 7 will be returning on the bus, and then 43 will be they drive themselves here.
We're expecting a decrease. As you know, people don't live forever. And in the last 2 years, we've actually lost some seniors, some to COVID, some to natural causes, right? Some of the concerns are, we're scared, So of course, even if they're vaccinated and boosted, they still have those that are fearing for the social, contacts.
Hoffman says that a candlelight vigil is being organized for those who passed on.
Senior congregate meals will discontinue as well on Monday, May 2nd. Nearly a month into the local war claims program, there's been a lower than expected number of approved applications. The Claims Adjudication Committee met last night, and so far only 52 have qualified. KOM's Lester Lacanto reports.
DOA Benefits Manager Leonora Condaso says since April 1st, they've had about 900 total contacts both online and at the War Claims Center. But the majority represent ineligible claimants who either passed away prior to the December 23, 2016 enactment of the federal program or who already filed federally.
We also have a combination of family members who are filing for their decedents or for the deceased victims. The family members are like grandchildren, siblings, nieces and nephews. Unfortunately, under the law that we're operating off for this local program, only spouses, parents, and children can file for members who have passed away.
A petition signed by more than 700 potential claimants helped spur the law authorizing $10 million for a local war reparations program.
I know that we are starting to see the off-island statements come through, so it's trickling in. I think the word is getting out, at least on the mainland, that the local program has opened up. We're not as busy as we expected from the first round, but they are coming through. And from what I hear too, some of the claimants, they're struggling a little bit on putting down the recollection of what transpired during the war.
And while the program doesn't end till April of next year, Gumaban says they're considering another public information campaign. For example, direct mailings to retirement fund recipients.
That really only addresses those who retire into the government of Guam. We still have another vast majority that we need to reach out to. So maybe a more active campaign will help reach the mainland victims who can file under this claim.
She says they also need to afford more time and patience for the Manamku to get their applications in. For KOAM News, I'm Nestor Lacanto.
In Decision 2022 headline, Senator Talina Nelson is running for Congress. The three-term Democratic lawmaker filed her candidacy at the Election Commission Tuesday. She now joins fellow Democrat and former Speaker Judith Wampat and Republican Senator James Moylan in the race to replace Congressman Michael San Nicolas, who is running for governor.
I believe that the people of Guam need an experienced leader. I am a combat veteran, I am a teacher, I am a three-term senator. We have worked for sustainability, we have worked for our education, we have worked for leveraging our veterans' rights for the benefits that they've earned in combat, and we've also worked to build our economy.
Nelson was first elected to the legislature in 2018 and is the current Democratic majority leader. As mentioned, she's also an officer in the Guam Army National Guard and is a combat veteran who served in Afghanistan.
The benefits of being currently in the military is I understand the global actions that are currently taking place within our region and outside, and those that affect Guam directly and indirectly. And with that military experience, I can bring to the table in the Armed Services Committee, fight for our island, protecting its natural resources, and ensuring that we move forward in a responsible way.
Nelson fueled speculation earlier this year when she picked up election packets for both the legislature and Congress. The Department of Public Health and Social Services has revised their sanitary permit rules and regulations. Local businesses could face fines of up to $1,000 should they violate them. KUM's Daniel Perez reports.
A little heads up for restaurants, bars, and other food establishments. Public Health is cracking down on those who aren't keeping up with sanitary and health standards. Violations are going to get more expensive, according to management analyst Francine Salas from the Division of Environmental Health. The penalties were added to the rules and regulations so that violators will be deterred from repeating violations.
We're basically covering, I'll say about 10 to 12% of the total health-related establishments that we're supposed to be inspecting. And so that may put that in your mind as what you're seeing in terms of recent closures may only be 10% of the potential violators out there. And everybody's still eating at establishments that are still open that haven't been subject to an inspection.
Salas detailed what happens when a restaurant is caught in violation of the revised sanitary permits regulations by the environmental public health officer.
If they cite violations, sometimes they can be corrected on the spot, but sometimes not. And so sometimes the violation is large enough to warrant a temporary suspension or revoking of their sanitary permit, in which they cannot operate the business. Based on their report, administrative penalties would be determined. And so based on the report, based on the violation found. And then so it isn't until they pass a reinspection that they're able to get their sanitary permit reinstated and they're able to operate again. So reinspection and the payment of the administrative penalties is what would be needed.
The new fines went into effect on April 19 and include a wide range of penalties. Some include operating an establishment without a valid sanitary permit. Fines go from $350 to as high as $2,500. Also, knowingly letting a person with a communicable disease work that can potentially spread to the public while that person is employed there. This fine ranges from $500 to $5,000, and importing a consumer commodity that is misbranded, adulterated, or prohibited by law. This fine goes from $500 to $25,000. For the full list of penalties, go to KUAM.com. Also, beginning November 1st of this year, fees for sanitary permits will increase, so those seeking to get a permanent establishment sanitary permit can expect to pay $368 if your restaurant or bar has 1 to 10 employees. With food establishments having 11 or more employees, the fee is the same, plus another $5 should you go beyond 10 employees. Daniel Perez reporting for KUAM News.
That's your Link Morning News Update. Guahu si Isaiah Again, and now we're going to go ahead and throw it to your tomorrow news update with Uncle KUAM's Ken Conception.
This news update is brought to you by Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
Buenos updates to get soon to be sa morgen ni KUAM News. Presenta ni Familian Mizo gi First Hawaiian Bank. Esta kahulog yung minadres na kandidato para delegadong Guahan, si Senadora Telina Nelson sa Alfai Paquetinia para falago para na posisyon gilas 12 gitaluan ni ginigap i Guam Election Commission. Si Nelson no sa tres biyahe mailihi para senadora, sa naman man di taw-taw tagbilgi sa Guahan na naman yuli paketing kandidato para senadora dan para delegado. Sumana gi-otrodor ni malalago igin ng Speaker para Legislatura Judy Wampat no Democrat dan si Jim Moylan ni Republican. Malalago para na posisyon ini na bakante SMP ni delegado Michael Nicholas no kandidato para gobyerno. Mas asunto, di Lunes Department of Revenue and Taxation sa manalisto 85 na apas para di All Rice na programa no bali 80,000 pesos. Ito ta dito tondi este na programa esta man maapasi 35,927 na tatawagin no kana 37 milyon pesos pa todo. I Revenue and Tax sa makonsisige mo na irin bisita zan marekla at ziman latis yan aplikasyon no tetenan no man maklasifika na status S. Para mas informasyon aging i-call center gi 671-635-184041. Pasno email ay pinatmian@revtax.guam.gov. Yung na sunto gifinut sa moro para pagod na Merkulis in ni KUAM News. Nebo na segundo direktor gi Department of Youth Affairs. Anunsya magahaga na punta si Michael Weekly para doon na posisyon. Segundo news release, ganin staffer gi legislatura si Weekly para Committee on Judiciary and Criminal Justice sa ni Komite yan Edukasyon. At tayo si Crescenda Algon ni Guiza Human Resources Administrator Pago para doon nebo na dibisyon ni Departamento ng Salud Publiko at Serbisyon Sosyal ni Division of Children's Welfare desti December. Si Melanie Brennan sa Director ni Department of Youth Affairs. Para Guam News Network, Walsikin Conception. Yasuto gifinut sa moro sa presenta sa ninafatto ni Familiang Mizo gi First Hawaiian Bank.
Say hello to the First Hawaiian Bank mobile app, where you get smart insights into your finances so you can make smart decisions with your money. With a daily personalized feed, you can compare your monthly income to spending. That's better. Discover where your money is actually going. You might be surprised. See what's essential and what isn't. The more you use the app, the smarter it gets. With insights from the First Hawaiian Bank mobile app, it all starts with yes.
6:57 on the breeze. We're KUAM FM. Hagatna Guam, Guahusi Chris. Welcome to the link. Guess who's back? Back again. I am back. Tell your friends. Coming up 8 o'clock, guys. I know we're all talking about the Democratic Party decision to close their primary election. What does it mean for you? What does it mean for me? Can we still vote? If not, how do we cast our ballot in a closed primary? Well, 8 o'clock, we're getting Maria Pangilinan in. I'm getting Tony Babalta from the Democratic Party to talk about maybe what led to this decision and how, because I feel like it was kind of made, obviously, to close off the primary for, registered Democrats. And this goes back to, again, the whole Democratic Unity Pledge with the congressman refusing to sign it. I mean, if you're in the party, it's a party primary. You got to play by the party rules. But is this a decision that is going to float for the general population? Well, we'll see. And I'm curious to learn more about the process because I don't know. Like you guys waking up this morning, I don't know. What does it mean? Are we still going to the polling sites? Are we doing UOG? Where's the party going to hold this election? And so we'll get the answers to all those questions before this show is over this morning. It's 6:58. Coming up next, we're going to go in with my girl, Janae. There was a great a couple of plus-size pageants over in the American states. And guess what? Some local girls took home some big placements and prizes. So we'll talk about that. Coming up, we're getting Mayor Jesse Alig, the president of the Mayor's Council of Guam, as we prepare for Manumku Month. Viva Manumku! That's coming up. And then again, like I said, Maria Pangilinan and Tony Babalta. We also got a special feature from Tomas Manglotnia. All on the way right here on the link. We're back after the break. Good morning.
Join Nestor Lacanto for virtual in-depth discussions with the movers and shakers in our community every Wednesday on In Full Zoom. Presented by IT&D and Calvo Enterprises, Inc.
New Spicy Lovers Pizza from Pizza Hut. Hurts so good. With its spicy marinara and sliced red chilies. It's like a roundhouse kick to the taste buds. How's it looking? Don't be bashful with the fiery flakes now. I want it to be real spicy.
I haven't started yet.
Okay, I'm ready. The new Spicy Lovers Pizza. Get it while it's hot. You want respect? Red chilies get you respect. Knowing our pizza's the Hut.
Mariana's Irrigation and Landscape Superstore. Stop on by and visit our showroom today. We offer everyday low prices on all major outdoor power equipment like bush cutters, chainsaw, power washer, generators, and more. Need service, repair, maintenance? Well, check out Guam's best superstore only at Mariana's Irrigation and Landscape, located in Barragata along Army Drive between Submarina and Besta Market. Call 735-7446 for more information. Now shipping to surrounding islands. Mariana's Irrigation and Landscape Superstore.
Get the job done the right way by getting the right stuff at East West Rental Center. With years of experience helping builders, we definitely got what you need. Call 646-1463 or visit us in Upper Tumon. Open Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Sundays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information. The relationship between Guam and Manila, Philippines is undeniable as we share similar cultural traditions, history, and heritage. With generations of Filipinos calling Guam home, KUAM presents a monthly look at the capital city featuring in-depth and engaging interviews on everything from medical tourism to new business and government leaders. Veteran newscaster Nestor Lecanto delivers Beyond Our Borders. This special program is brought to you by KFC and the Medical City, where patients are partners.
It's Feed Me Fridays on The Link. Good eats, good company, and beyond good chow with Team KUAM checking out Guam's most tantalizing, tempting menu items. Every Friday on The Link, listen on Breeze 93.9 FM or stream online. Brought to you by Devondale, real milk from free grazing cows.
Properties in the Tropics is your weekly roundup of the hottest properties on Guam. Every Thursday, get a virtual walkthrough of homes, apartments, townhomes, and land available for lease, rent, or sale with a breakdown of the most important info, including cost, features, and of course, location details. Watch it on KUAM News Hotspot at noon on streaming and TV8 or catch the encore at 5 p.m. on TV11. You can also check out each installment on Instagram too. Properties in the Tropics is presented by RE/MAX Diamond Realty. The KUAM Care Force, in partnership with the UOG Center for Island Sustainability, Guam Green Growth, and UOG Sea Grant, is proud to present a series of Sustainability Matters features all Earth Month long, including Green Leader Profiles on KUAM News Primetime, introducing you to people in our community leading the way with sustainable businesses and practices. A Think Green Cleanup Showcase on Weekend Edition at the end of April, featuring your events around the island. And Team KUAM is taking on the Sustainable Lifestyle Challenge every Friday on Hotspot. Plus, follow the KUAM News Instagram and Facebook pages for weekly tips from Guam Green Growth. Sustainability matters all month long on KUAM Communications.
We're living in a new world with new ways of communicating, connecting, and moving through life.
Every day seems to be marked with change, and with all these changes, you need trusted people you can rely on for advice and insights about the things that really matter.
Let Gina and I walk you through everything you need to know about real estate, from buying to selling to renting, and all the details in between.
Join us with Jason Solis every week on House to Home.
House to Home every Tuesday on KUAM News Extra, presented by RE/MAX Diamond Realty.
Through The Link, each morning on Breeze 93.9 FM.
You need a minute, darling. I need a minute too. 'Cause I've been grinding gears through all these years in love with you. You needed something, darling. I needed something too. While you were searching around for the answer right in front of you, I said, the girl, you're running all your makeup. You got what you want and I was trapped in the middle. And in my mind, you know I won't make up. I fumble with my lyrics like I'm stuck in a riddle. I said, girl, you're running all your makeup. You got what you want and I was trapped in the middle. And in my mind, you know I won't make up. I fumble with my lyrics like I'm stuck in a riddle. Say, we're burning up with that island fever. We're burning up with that island fever. We're burning up with that island fever.
Hey, good morning. Viva Jason J. All right, we did have that primary was open, first of all, for the American Song Contest. Yeah, voted quite a few times in that one. 704, we did have a message from Jason J. Posted it up on his Facebook page. Congratulatory thank you going out to everybody who supported him. And we're going to play this message from Jason right here on the link. Good morning. Where you at? Well, we'll play it right
make
here.
It to the semifinal.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, again, Jason J.
What's up? How for everybody? Results came. But big ups. What's up? Hot for day, everybody. Results came in. Your boy didn't make it to the semifinals. But big ups to Nell, John Morgan, Sweet Taboo. Proud of you guys. Can't wait to see you guys kill it for this next semifinals. Rep episode 5 hard, yo. Yeah, thank you to everyone for all the voting, the streaming. We're at 50K for midnight right now on the streaming platforms. So I love you. Thank you. I'm grateful for this opportunity to be able to represent the island. Fresco for all the gear. Love you guys. On to the next. Let's go. Show near you. Coming soon.
There you go, Jason J. Saying thank you to all of his Guam and beyond fans who supported him in NBC's American Song Contest. You know, I thought I had a cool video up on Instagram was Big Ton Solace. He had this video. It was funny. He was driving. He was like, I'll be coming right for you. I'll be over by midnight. That's my Jason J impersonation. But, yeah, great song, great tune. So proud. You know what I mean? 7:06. Good morning. Good morning, Facebook Live. My name's Chris. I am back. Thank you. Guam Election Commission, Democratic Party Chair. We're going in on the closed primary on the Democratic Party side, which is huge news because I know a lot of people were excited to vote in that Democratic primary on both sides. You know what I mean? So we'll find out what it means and what's going to happen on August 27th because I was ready to go. You know what I mean? As a registered voter who did not declare their party affiliation. I've kind of gotten used to voting in the primary election on Guam because it's what we've always done. So this is definitely a comment from one of my friends on WhatsApp. In Esther's story, it said it was a rare move, but actually one of my friends said this is a never before done move. So, hey, it is what it is. New time, new world, 2022. We'll figure it out at 8 o'clock. Hopefully get you all the answers. 7:07 now. Like I was saying, there's a plus-size pageant, a couple of them over in Tennessee. We're bringing Janae Uganon with a couple of the winners here. Good morning, lovely ladies. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
Good morning on you.
Good morning.
Oh, man, I didn't know I was going to be in for such a special treat this morning, Janae.
Of course. That's what we do.
That's what we do. This is great. So you have a couple winners. You have Charlene and Casey. And I know that you were out. I saw your Instagram. You were out in Tennessee. And was there somewhere else you also went for a couple of these pageants where these ladies were able to take home big wins for the island?
Yes. Sorry, you kind of cut off there. But yes, we were in Tennessee and then we were in Reno. So the Voluptuous Pageants International was the Tennessee pageant that Casey participated in. And the National Miss Curvy pageant was the pageant that Charlene participated in Reno. So this is actually our second time participating in Reno. Back in 2020, during the height of COVID, we actually sent out a delegate, Madison Cruz, and she won the pageant and brought the crown home back to Guam.
Wow.
So this is not our first time representing Guam in the mainland.
Right.
But this is our first time representing Guam for the Voluptuous Pageants, which is a UK-based pageant. They had a pageant in Tennessee, and Casey snagged the Continental Oceania crown.
Congratulations, Casey. Let's just start there.
Thank you.
What was this experience like for you?
When I first started, I wasn't too sure what I was getting myself into, but it was nothing short of amazing. I met tons of beautiful, inspiring, empowered women, including my directors, the director for the UK pageant, Miss Natalie, and just all my sister queens. They were just nothing short of positivity and empowerment, and it's everything that I could have hoped for.
What was it like when they found out you were from Guam? I'm pretty sure that was interesting.
So we did have a couple run-ins with people that weren't too familiar with Guam, but we weren't shy to let them know where we're from. We were very proud of our island.
Of course.
When the other delegates were to see that from Guam, their families as well, they had a lot of questions, and we actually have some queens that are interested in coming to visit through our sisterhood. So if I go out there, I have them. When they have come here, they have us and our families.
So this was a UK based pageant. Did everyone have like a British accent?
Yes. Majority
Majority
yes.
of them did.
Yeah, yes, they did. So accents were there, as well as some of our stateside sister queens. They also had accents, and I'm pretty sure they think I did too. I don't hear it, but
Have you done other pageants, Casey?
So I actually started my journey in 2019 with Pimple Empire. They had open contestant call for Miss Guam Extra. I did join, but because of COVID, they did change plans, which is how I actually got my coveted title of Miss Voluptuous Guam.
Well, I'm so proud to have some voluptuous ladies in the KUAM News Link Zoom room here. But, I want to kind of spread it out a little bit. Charlene, congratulations on your win. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about your experience representing Guam in these plus-size pageants?
Oh, thank you. My experience was super awesome. I was just so excited to share Guam with all the people that I was meeting. Oh, it was just, man, I could talk for days, but I won't. All I can say is that my experience during my reign here on Guam, on island, and then my experience when I met my sister queens in Reno, it was great. It was like we clicked. Even though it was our first time meeting, we were just, the sisterhood is so strong. It helps you really build character. And my experience in this pageant, it really helped me with my confidence. And I'm still learning with my public speaking. So I'll get there one day.
Well, you sound fine.
But it was great.
You sound fine.
And with the guidance from Janae and Kevin, it was, I got to listen. And it's proven to be true with their guidance. It's so awesome.
How empowering is this for you ladies?
Very.
It is very empowering.
Yes, it helped me, really realize that there is no limit once you set your mind to it. Anything you want to do, whether it be in your career steps, in your social life, in helping others, it doesn't matter what age you are, you can do it. And with the proper guidance and support, game on.
Yeah, these two girls are being kind of modest. I'm gonna tell you, they worked really hard. We had about a year preparation, and then the pageant got moved back to 2022. So that gave us a little bit more time. It was a little time constraint in the end because we were just rushing and making sure we had plane tickets and booking all of that. But these two worked really hard. You could, by the fact that Casey placed and so did Shar, it just tells you that Guam has the potential to gain international crowns. We came to play. It was a lot of hard work, but these two women just proved that Guam has what it takes. I'm telling you right now, everybody in Tennessee, they're like, hey, Guam, Kevin, if you watch our live video from Instagram, you can hear Kevin and people are like, oh, is that you, Janae, in the background? I'm like, actually, I was backstage. Kevin made some friends. And so he was like rallying people and you can hear people yelling. I'm like, who did you make friends with, Kevin? Because it was in Tennessee, it was only me and Kevin.
Yeah.
Nobody else was there. And Kevin's like, I made friends with the host. I made friends with the people working. And so I was like, dang, babe.
Yeah.
So he was able to rally. And in Reno, fortunately, the prior Queen Madison, she was able to fly out. So we had Madison, we had Shar's sponsor came out. We also had one of our girls from California. So we had a small contingency there, just cheering on. Both places, Tennessee and Reno, very impressed with Guam. And we hope to do Guam proud again. And we hope to represent as best as we can back in 2023. in 2023.
Right.
So we're very excited.
One thing about Guam is wherever we go, we're going to make friends. That's for sure.
That's right.
I want to talk about, body image and some of the things that maybe some of our younger, not just the younger ladies, but, even younger guys, just people in general struggle with body image. And like when I asked you about how empowering this plus size pageant was, can you kind of speak to the way that it kind of sets an example for people who might be struggling with just their self-image and how they feel about themselves?
Yes, of course. So being in a plus size pageant, it was scary at first for my experience, because social media has this picture of a perfect woman, how a perfect woman should look. And being in a plus size pageant, it taught us women, or I could talk about myself, that struggled with body image, to embrace our skin, to love how we look, to love our weights, to love our flaws, everything that people see that is not in social media or that is not the ideal woman is what we should embrace. That is what makes us us. That is what makes us empowered and queens. With regardless if you don't have a crown, wearing your invisible crown every day, showing your pride in yourself, showing that you love yourself is something that everybody should feel, regardless of age, regardless of size, regardless of gender or identification.
Charlene?
That's correct. With my experience being my age, I am, just to give you a little background, okay? So I am a grandmother of 2.
Get out of here,
and
Char.
one on
No,
the way.
I'm sorry. We don't know. We are a completely honest program here. This is an honesty show. We don't know. You're not a grandma. Get out of here.
Yes. With that being said, by joining Pitbull Empire, it helped me again a lot with my confidence. So the doubt in myself really started at a very young age, middle school, high school. I was bullied because I was always like, oh, the fat girl, right? But these days with my journey, I'm like, who cares? I'm fat and I'm in, right? So it really built my confidence. And now today, with what I've learned and what I've gone through, I really appreciate the lessons that were portrayed and given to me by Janae and Kevin and Pitbull Empire. The whole team, we build off each other. We build each other up. We empower each other. No matter what age, no matter your culture, your gender choice, we're there. And you should never be ashamed to be yourself. Never, no matter what you look like or what color your skin is or what color you think your skin is. You're perfect. You're perfect because you are you. You are unique. And we are here to help anyone who wants to feel what we feel, to feel how we feel. Reach out. Pitbull Empire's here, guys.
I wanna interject really quick because I know Chris talks about like she can't be a grandma. So this grandma swept, okay? So this grandma swept. Not only did she got marks for best introduction, she also got best cover model. I wish I have that photo.
Wow.
But she got the cover model photo taken by Paul Blas. Paul, take a left, Chalut. Paul Blas was our photographer, and that photo got best cover model photo. Shar also got best in talent. She did a dance, a cultural dance by Guma Mahiga, and she also got best in evening gown.
Wow.
So Shar, this grandma swept. She swept the floor. She did really well. I'm so proud of both of these ladies. I'm not gonna lie, Kevin and I are like drill sergeants. I'm smiling.
So you
about
guys are a pageant couple, right? You seen those those right pageant moms?
Oh yes,
yeah.
they are a team. It takes two.
That's the power team.
Oh, and Casey's costume won best national costume, and I have to tell you, people don't believe us, but that's Kevin and me, Hampton Inn Suites, the night
in
before.
In a hotel room.
In a hotel room. Huh? Oh, Residence Inn. I'm sorry, Residence Inn in a hotel room. Drill, glue gun.
12 midnight. 12 midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, pageant day.
Waffle House.
You guys did it.
Oh, there was a Waffle House. Got it.
Yeah.
Nice.
We really came to, to do our best to represent Guam in the best way possible. And I think both ladies did an excellent job, definitely making waves out nationally and internationally. A lot of talk about people coming to Guam to visit us and to see what we have. These ladies really did put on a great show. I mean, they were surprised at Casey with her 4-inch JoJo's. They're like, this girl, I'm like, yes, our two ladies can walk circles around anybody in their heels. That's how well these two did. That's how impressed the judges were. I wouldn't be surprised if we have an international pageant on Guam because of these two.
Janae,
so I'm very excited.
We're so proud of all of you. If anybody listening wants to get into this pageant life, whether as a plus size pageant queen or maybe behind the scenes, whatever, hair, makeup, costumes, how do they get a hold of Pitbull Empire?
they could reach me on Instagram or on Facebook. My email is pitbullempireguam@gmail, or everybody knows my phone number. It's been out. You can give me a call, 671-688-4765. We're really excited to meet whoever is interested, and let's work on showing your inner potential and representing Guam as best as we can. Let's make Guam proud.
There you go. Casey, Charlene, you have definitely made Guam proud, and I think you're doing a great job setting a great example for our people. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris, and welcome
Stay
back.
voluptuous. Thank you, Janae. We'll see you guys. There you go. Leah Day. Thank you, Jason. Wow, what a welcome back for me. Awesome interview there with some lovely ladies. Hey, it's 7:21, Wednesday, April 27th, right here on the link. Guahusi Chris. Yes, we're getting Maria Pangilinan and Tony Babalta as the Democratic Party chairs. The big news this morning, never have I ever seen a primary election closed on Guam, but it's happening as the Democratic Party in a meeting voted to close their primary. What does that mean? For me, for you, we'll find out. Because I'm honestly, guys, I'm confused. Like I told you, I'm a registered voter. The part where you declare your party affiliation is optional, right? You don't have to fill that out. So I don't think that I did fill that out. So what does that mean for me and my ability to cast a ballot in the Democrat primary election? Well, we will find out coming up with Miss Maria Pangilinan and Tony Babalta as the Democratic Party chair. They're not coming on together. It's not like they're coming on separately, but, in the same hour. So we'll do that at 8 o'clock. At 7:21, good morning on you. Wednesday, April 27th. We're going to take a quick break, and we have Mayor Jesse Alig and a whole lot more coming up right here on the link. Good morning.
Subscribe to our KOAM News Digest, our weekly email newsletter with all kinds of information straight to your inbox. Just subscribe and we'll make sure to keep you informed and entertained with news from the KOAM News team, what to watch on NBC and CBS, and the latest promotions from KOAM Communications. Go to KOAM.com, click on the newsletter tab at the top of the homepage, register, and you're all set. Brought to you by Uno Go, Guam on Demand.
Start off your middays with the menu on KOAM News Hotspot, your preview to the big news items. Broadcast on KOAM TV 8 weekdays at noon, with live stream on our social media platforms, plus an encore at 5 p.m. on KOAM TV 11.
The menu, brought to you by King's Restaurant, always open, always local, and Ruby Tuesday Guam, home of the fresh Garden Bar.
We're taking care of business with GTA on KOAM Digital. Tips and advice for your business to get more productive, efficient, and streamlined with pro tips, tools, and other services. We're navigating through the best practices in tech, operations, and beyond every month with the help of our friends at GTA on KOAM Digital. GTA, we start with you.
Watch Mariana's artists, activists, and visionaries and their quest to protect, preserve, and promote our Chamorro culture on The Culture Club, a weekly feature on KOAM News digital platform and the KOAM News Weekend Edition. Brought to you by Tropicool Ice.
We're living in a new world with new ways of communicating, connecting, and moving through life.
Every day seems to be marked with change, and with all these changes, you need trusted people you can rely on for advice and insights about the things that really matter.
Let Gina and I walk you through everything you need to know about real estate, from buying to selling to renting, and all the details in between.
Join us with Jason Solis every week on House to Home.
House to Home every Tuesday on KOAM News Extra, presented by Remax Diamond Realty.
The KOAM Care Force, in partnership with the UOG Center for Island Sustainability, Guam Green Growth, and UOG Sea Grant, is proud to present a series of Sustainability Matters features all Earth Month long, including Green Leader Profiles on KOAM News Primetime, introducing you to people in our community leading the way with sustainable businesses and practices. A Think Green Cleanup Showcase on Weekend Edition at the end of April, featuring your events around the island. And Team KOAM is taking on the Sustainable Lifestyle Challenge every Friday on Hotspot. Plus, follow the KOAM News Instagram and Facebook pages for weekly tips from Guam Green Growth. Sustainability matters all month long on KOAM Communications. Properties in the Tropics is your weekly roundup of the hottest properties on Guam. Every Thursday, get a virtual walkthrough of homes, apartments, townhomes, and land available for lease, rent, or sale, with a breakdown of the most important info, including cost, features, and of course, location details. Watch it on KUAM News Hotspot at noon on streaming and TV8 or catch the encore at 5 p.m. on TV 11. You can also check out each installment on Instagram too. Properties in the Tropics is presented by Remax Diamond Realty.
KUAM Communications continues our perpetuation of our Chamorro culture, language, and heritage with features available to our listening and viewing audience, including streaming of Chamorro music 24 hours per day on Isla Digital Radio on KUAM.com and the KUAM News app. Chamorro News Update, weekdays on The Link and the KUAM News YouTube channel. Conversations about life in our Chamorro language podcast, Cuentos Tapoco, with Kin Conception. Seasonal specials, shows, and other features highlighting the beauty of our language, culture, and history. It's a new era of our continued commitment to our Chamorro heritage. Isla, watch, listen, stream. Viva Isla!
Let us know what's up on our KOM News WhatsApp tip line at 671-727-0094. Share information about what's happening in your town, on Guam or the Sinamai, and what you want us to know. Reach us on WhatsApp at 671-727-0094.
Uno Mixed. We're mixing it up on the last Thursday of every month with a look at lifestyle, entertainment, food, and so much more on the stations, networks, and digital platforms of KUAM Communications.
Uno Mixed is presented to you by Docomo Pacific, Better Together, and Pepsi. That's what I like.
The KUAM Podcast Network is back and on demand, featuring a great variety of podcasts from our island and region, including culture, lifestyle, awareness, crime, politics, commentary, comedy, and entertainment. Available on most streaming platforms. The KUAM Podcast Network. Subscribe and listen now.
Let me surprise you with your favorite things. Dance with me by the ocean under the moonlight, 'cause I'm loving how it shines on you as the sweet, sweet scent of your perfume just takes me away to a land of peace, near the sea of love, near the gardens of nature in the heavens above. And I know it's real, more than a dream, when you're alone with me and just falling in love right here in paradise. Ooh, I hope you're loving the view. Let this tropical breeze set you in the mood. Just falling in love right here.
Good morning. Hey, morning. How you guys doing? You doing good, or are you doing good? The more goods, the better. Cabo Enterprises, ITD, and Jack in the Box. Proud to present The Link. My name's Chris. Thank you, guys. Good to be back. Awesome. Had a great a staycation, if you will. No hotel stay. We just stayed at home. It was very nice. 7/28, Wednesday, April 27, 2022. Happy belated Easter on you guys. Big news this morning here. Good morning, Facebook Live, by the way. Thank you. It's Fresco. That's my shirt is by my friend Chris over at Fresco. Thank you guys. So awesome. It's got all the little symbols here. There's a Slingstone, a Laddie, the Proa, bunch of different stuff. It's cool. It's 7/29, Wednesday, April 27th. Mayor Jesse Alig of the Mayor's Council of Guam. He's not just in the Mayor's Council of Guam. He is the president, and he's coming up here on the show. Also, Speaker Terlahi about this liquid fuel tax bill, which is stuck in the purgatory of legislative committee, I believe. I believe it's, we'll find out for sure, but I think I saw something on our news that Senator Joseph Augustine has not released that bill. So we'll find out with the speaker, play catch up with her, as it has been a minute since I've been back. It is good to be back. What a day to come back. Wow. I mean, when I was on leave, everything from Sabrina leaving KUAM to run with Congressman San Nicolas, that was huge while I was on leave. Another issue that happened and is still happening, the issue of a transgender female playing a girls' high school rugby. Yes, an issue that what I found was initially when this the story kind of first came out is people were talking about it, right? There was a coach that we had interviewed here on KUAM News who talked about witnessing the game with this transgender rugby player and said that, a few of his girls were injured in this game. And then kind of after that, people quit talking about it because it is I feel like people are scared to talk about, just to even talk about the issue because you have to tread lightly. You really do. There's a lot of sensitivities in place, right? I mean, we're talking about a young person who's a teenager who has a family, right? We're also talking about, the girls playing rugby and how these parents feel, how the players feel. And it's a complicated issue. It really is. I mean, it's not as simple as let her play. Because when you look at a lot of these issues with the transgender individuals in sports, what it really hinges on is where they are at in the transitional hormone therapy. That's kind of like the medical side of it, right? So, theoretically, I don't think that, well, at least if I was in, a professional rugby setting, I don't think that I, as Chris Barnett, could come tomorrow and be like, I am now, Christina Barnett, and I want to play girls rugby. It's not that simple. There's a lot of stuff at play when it comes to the therapy that transitioning individuals receive, because you go from being a biological male, and when you receive this hormone therapy, basically what happens is it turns you into as close as a biological female as possible. But where it gets kind of sticky, I think if you read up on this stuff, and if you just read up on it, you'll see is the spectrum of when an individual starts the transitioning and is transitioning, in this instance, from a male to a female. I think you have to get so many treatments before you are considered more on the female side, because obviously with, teenage boys, they're going through puberty, their bodies are developing, they have a higher muscle mass, there's these testosterone issues at play. So I just wanted to come on and just actually talk about it, because even bringing it up with some of my friends who, are in the rugby scene, there is this idea that it's like, oh, we can't talk about it. And me, I'm always someone who I want to talk about things, because I feel like the more we talk about it, the easier it becomes. And I don't ever want to live in a society where just talking about an issue like we are doing now is somehow mislabeled as being blank phobic, right? So I don't believe that anything that we've discussed this morning is, homophobic or transphobic or whatever. And I feel like that has really had a chilling effect on not just, just discussion, period. Yes, there are people who go way off on the side and who are offensive in their thoughts and their treatment of people. I have no time for those kind of people. What I do have time for is a good discussion on this issue, because it kind of seems like we're getting away from the people that it impacts most and what they have to say. And who does it impact most? I think in this instance, it impacts the girls playing rugby the most. And now we have a situation where Guam High's girls rugby team has basically been put on ice. They're like, you can't play until we figure this out. GDOE, they're having a big board meeting on May 4th, I think, to discuss this policy. And that's the one thing that I have not heard discussed when people are talking about this, is the hormone therapy relative to where you are in terms of being more on the male or the female side when you're transitioning. That's an important part of the discussion, because in the transition process, of course, you do transition from being, what you were to what you are now identifying as. So I'm pretty sure as we get closer to this meeting, I did try and get GDOE on this morning. There's just a lot of catch up that I want to do since I've been on leave. And we did get a commitment from the acting superintendent, Joe Sanchez, to come on tomorrow. And I know Joe, I'm assuming he knows that we are going to ask about it. And even if the answer is as simple as, hey, we can't talk about it till we head into this meeting on May 4th, then, so be it. But we are going to ask, and we are going to discuss the issue as much as we can. At 7:34, there's a whole lot to discuss. I wanted to kind of also, good morning, by the way. before we get to Mayor Alig, who's standing by, it's so good to see you, Mayor. I wanted to just read off a little bit of this amendment to the bylaws that the Democratic Party of Guam has made. So I believe, if I'm correct, that's a big if, guys, and we'll find out Miss Maria Pangolina coming up. But I believe, if I am correct, as of now, I don't think I would be able to cast a vote in the Democrat primary, from what I'm reading of it. And so I just wanted to read off this amendment to the bylaws of the Democratic Party of Guam, Amendment number 21, pursuant to the order rendered by Superior Court of Guam Judge Alberto C. Lamarena III in civil case number CV 145603. And so basically, this is going back to when the former AG Doug Moylan had he wanted to close the primaries for both of the parties, and then the Democratic Party, which at the time was chaired by Attorney Mike Phillips, the Democratic Party at that time opposed it, and I think they went to court, and the Democratic Party is like, we want our primary to be open. We want everyone to come in and vote. And I think that kind of forced the Republican Party's hand to say, oh, we don't want to be the ones that are closing our primary because it's just a bad look. And so they ended up both, as you guys know, we've always had open primaries. So going on and reading this amendment to the bylaws here, they reference this case. The court finds that 3 GCA 16402 is unconstitutional in light of the Supreme Court ruling in California Democratic Party versus Jones, to the extent that the section does not allow the recognized political parties to choose its primary election format. The court finds that each recognized political party has the prerogative to dictate its primary election format for all primary elections subsequent to 2004 and 60 days or more before the scheduled primary election date, each respective. Sorry, Mayor Alex drinking his coffee in the Zoom room is making me. Oh, it's good. 60 days or more before the scheduled primary election date, each respective political party chair or the party's duly authorized representative shall provide written notice to the Guam Election Commission as to whether the party's primary format shall remain open or closed, in accordance to the articles and bylaws of the respective political party. If one or more recognized political party chooses a closed primary election format, then the Guam Election Commission shall abide by the written instruction of said political party and require each voter participating in the primary election to state their name, residence, and political affiliation as a condition to receiving said party's ballot. That the Guam Election Commission shall adopt procedures and guidelines to implement the ruling of the court as indicated herein. And so then they go on to add a new section 15 to Rule 9 of the Democratic Party of Guam bylaws to read as follows. Section 15, voting in the primary election, unless the Central Executive Committee of the Democratic Party of Guam votes otherwise, only registered Democrats, this is key right here, this is who is going to be able to vote in the Democrat primary. Only registered Democrats with the Democratic Party of Guam may vote in the Democratic primary. Again, only registered Democrats with the Democratic Party of Guam may vote in the Democratic primary. A vote to open the Democratic primary to non-affiliated voters. Oh, is that what we are now? The non-affiliated. Must occur at a central executive committee meeting held before the deadline stipulated in the civil case, which is 60 days before the primary, and the procedures and guidelines set forth by the Guam Election Commission to implement the ruling contained in civil case number CV, whatever the civil case was. And then it was signed by the chairman and the secretary of the Democratic Party, who is also the new DYA deputy director, Michael Weekly. So that's there were some comments. We're going to get to it when Mr. Tony comes on. Right now, though, let's get over to Mayor Alig, who doesn't have to worry about close, open, primary, because the mayors are not seeking election this year, right?
That's correct. Welcome back.
Hey, thank you, Mayor. How are you?
I'm great.
Yeah.
We did. We have a party today for sure.
Oh, yeah, we do. I know. It's like of all the days to come back. Whew. Came back on Democratic Party Day.
Biba.
Mayor Alig, I saw some great news because, we've been asking you a lot about the senior centers reopening, and we're finally there.
We are. We're finally there. May 2nd is certainly the opening date. We're that's what's keeping those mayors busy with the senior centers. We know that there's, our Manamco are just eager to come back.
Yeah.
I know that I did report about 600 registered to come back, and there's certainly more that are kind of still out there, still haven't decided. But for those 600, well, it's over 600. It's I think maybe 670 now that I saw yesterday. We're excited to get them back to move and groove. Other than just bingo. I know they like to dance and they like to sing, and most of the centers are prepared with karaoke systems and their dance floors. So we're excited to have them back. Of course, we always talk about the meals, and that was always a big deal because we do have an increase, or we had an increase during the pandemic of Manamco receiving meals at home. And that was just allowable by the federal grantors.
Right.
And so, now that we're opening the centers, they're going to have to register with the center in order to partake of that congregate meal. But if they're not wanting to come to the center, they can call their center manager or the Division of Senior Citizens to ask them how they can apply for another meal program that is home-based. And hopefully they qualify and they can get their meal delivered to their house. So all of this week, I know that the notices are going home with the meals that are being delivered every day to remind the Manamco that the centers are opening on the 2nd. And if they have any questions, there's contact numbers on the flyers that are going out to them every day. By the end of the week, they should have enough to cut up to cover their bingo cards. Next week. They don't have to, if they don't have any more dabbers, they can make those as covers.
Mayor, when you talk about, because we had talked about this before, when the senior centers open, it does something with the meal program that everybody's on right now. So are you guys going to be liberal in the transition for some of these people who are going to be going off the congregate meal thing and then going on to the other program you were talking about? How do we ensure there's not an interruption in service?
No, that was our biggest concern, and that's why we had status meetings with the Division of Senior Citizens. We had them weekly, then we had them every other week, because we wanted to make sure that when we open, that we accommodate all the seniors that we're servicing right now, and whether we get a confirmation from them that they're okay not receiving the meal, or we've directed them to another program, or we've welcomed them to the center. So yes, we've definitely been making sure that we contact the seniors. If there's a senior citizen that was not contacted that is currently receiving meals, I know that we're trying to reach out to you, and there's numbers and information on the flyers that are going home every day this week. Please call those numbers. Call the mayor's office or your senior center closest to you to get information, because we don't want to leave anyone behind. That was our biggest concern from the very beginning when we were going to transition, was we wanted to make sure that because we brought in so many more Manamco to the meal program, that we wanted the transition to be as seamless as possible, and give the Manamco enough time to either wean off the program and provide their own meals at home, or participate in a current program. And again, all of this is federally funded, so we do have to follow these guidelines, and they're not locally mandated. And so the mayors, I do know that the administration is in support of making sure that everyone is taken care of. And of course, the Division of Senior Citizens, they have absolutely no, we all want to make sure that they're fed, and that they receive the meal that they're, promised. And so hopefully that, we don't have any issues come next week. Well, I'm positive we're not going to have any issues. You can call me. But yeah, that should be good.
Mayor, I saw in our news story here that you noted that the between 600 and 700 seniors is what you're anticipating returning to the centers when they reopen on Monday. It says here you noted that's a decrease compared to pre-COVID days. How much of a decrease are we talking about?
So the decrease, it's about, gosh, I have to say it was closer to 1,000. It was closer to 1,000 participants. And a lot of the decrease is because some, in the last 2 years may have passed away.
Yeah.
And others, they're a part of another program, another meal program that they're no longer coming back, or they just choose not to return for whatever reason. So like I said, the good thing is that we know that they're not coming back, right? And that's what I mean. It's the connection to them. If we didn't know and they were kind of missing, kind of like the DOE issue, right?
Right.
That would be difficult for us. I don't know if I could, I couldn't stomach that, because you can't leave them out there, but we know where they're at. We know their status. So it's good. It's good to know. Really.
Mayor, I wanted to ask, because I know you guys are giving out the commodities again. Is that this week?
Yeah, it's rotating. Yeah. So this week, I can't keep track of which villages, but I know it's on the JIC report. So right. Yeah, this week, I believe, not next week, but the following week. And we do the same, nowadays, there's still people in need. And if over the weekend, I ran across a lot of other people who I don't know. And thank you for coming up to me, and you know who I am. I do appreciate that you come up to me and let me know that, hey, I live in this village and I never got food commodities because they ran out. Wow. And I've always said on your show that if there are any residents that were out, if we have any leftovers in the village, we'll certainly be willing to give you. And a lot of times we're able to accommodate others. So, of course, PT is not scheduled this month, but if you're out there and you're still not receiving food commodities, let us know, let me know, give my office a call, and we'll see what we can do to help you out. Because for a lot of people, that bag and that box, is real substantial.
Yes.
And it provides a wholesome meal.
I know, Mayor, and I want to dust off this old question we used to ask you, during the height of the pandemic. What do you mentioned a little bit, the need of our people. Where are they right now in terms of need?
Well, when you ask, I know that the demographics have probably changed, but there still is a need simply because people are still reaching out, right? So I'm sure they're employed, some of these people that I speak to, but perhaps they're not fully employed, meaning they probably don't have 80-hour jobs, or they're still part-time, or they're on call. So I do appreciate that our people put their shame aside if they need help and give us a call, because it's about living, and it's about the quality of their own lives. So there's still a need, to answer your question. And I guess I foresee this for the next year, perhaps.
Yeah.
Right. So hopefully we'll see what happens.
Just a couple things. I got the speaker in line next. First, was there an update on Liberation since we last spoke?
So we'll know more this Friday. I think we'll be sending out some information by Friday, and so keep your phones on, and you'll know by Friday for sure. But I do have something. I do have something to say about PT though, because I hardly talk about PT. But can I? May I?
Yes, you may.
Okay. So I'm excited about. So we've started our Santa Cruz Novena, and traditionally in PT we've kind of had two fiestas, and there was a family in Telefofo that took over for many years, the family of Ten Antonio de Gracia, and so I do want to recognize them, because for many years they coordinated the Novena at Santa Cruz at the Etantano Shrine here in PT. But San Antonio passed away several years ago, and to my knowledge, they really have not been out at the shrine. But the family still takes pride in the shrine, and they still come around, and we do talk to their relatives every once in a while. And we wanted to continue that tradition of the Santa Cruz Novena. And so in 2019, we thought about that. And of course, we couldn't start it because then, of course, the pandemic came on. So that kind of changed our plans. So this year, we started to think about that. And then the Guam Preservation Trust comes into the picture, and they call me, reach out and say, hey, this Atentano Heritage Preserve. And I thought, yeah, great. That's what I want. Thank you. And so now we can connect the two. We can connect the Heritage Preserve to the shrine that exists in PT, hopefully meld it together and bring more awareness to the shrine and to the preserve, and why it's just so important for us. And I am vanidoso about it, because every time we talk about Ritidian or Litekzan, we talk about pottery, all the artifacts and Lati sites. Most think of the north, most think of Pageant perhaps, and other regions of the island. But we have so much in Atentano to offer, and there's so much history. There's so much of our heritage there that I just can't wait to share with
Mayor,
everybody.
I'm sorry. So is this the shrine that's kind of like behind Uncle Bob's?
Sumai Pub and Grill, yes.
Oh, sorry, yes. Just showed my age there. Yeah, so it's behind Sumai, guys. And I've been to this. It's a really, like the mayor said, it's a kind of a little structure, and then there's some statues. It's a really nice place to check out. And then I also went with Joe Kanata.
It's registered in the National Register of Historic Places.
Yeah.
And so it is the original shrine that was built there. And I do invite everyone to come out. We have the Novena every night at 6:30, but May 3rd is our big event. So, I know I sent out a release the other day, but May 3rd, we are inviting everyone at 6 p.m. to the Atentano Shrine. Okay. We will, of course, have the traditional Novena and Mass, but afterwards, GPT will be with us, and we'll put on a little exhibit about the Atentano Heritage Preserve and the shrine, of course. And so I'm really hoping to just get conversation, get our manamko there. Since we started, I've received many phone calls at the office about my family being there and knowing their relatives. And that's just what I wanted to do, is just bring more awareness, get people out. Of course, I think we bring our Chamorro people out with food and with prayer. So we're going to have food and we're going to have prayer. So put up to May 3rd at 6 p.m.
Thank you, Mayor. But no food until after the prayer.
No prayer. You need to pray first. Pray, talk, and then eat.
Mayor, I wanted to ask, with Speaker Terlahi and the gas relief measure that she had, I remember before I went on leave, there was somehow you guys had gotten involved with it, right? Have you guys... has there been any development with that? Have you guys taken a stance?
Yeah, put me on the spot, Chris.
Sorry, I just had to before, It is what it is.
So I want to speak on my own, on my behalf, and not from the council, because it.
So are you speaking as Mayor Jesse Alig of PD and not as the Mayor's Council President, or are you just speaking as
correct.
Jesse Alig, human being? Okay.
I'm speaking as the mayor of PT and not representing the council, because in the council there's still so much discussion about it, and everyone's kind of being pulled left to right. And I hope Senator San Augustine is listening, because he'll probably call me after this. But of course, initially and after reading the Speaker's bill, I am in support of it. I really am, simply because if there is relief for the consumer at the pump, and it's not necessary to have those additional charges to the consumer, because we feel it, right, at our level in the district, in the village, then I'm supportive of the bill. And that's my personal stance. Okay. But as far as the council goes, we haven't been able to come to a consensus. And I know that we will continue to talk about it at our next meeting. So
what's the divide? Is it even split, or do you have any idea?
Well, everyone has questions because I've asked them to review the public hearing on it, because there's talk about how it affects the mayor's budget and it affects our current appropriation. We've tried to let them know that it would not affect the current appropriation. everyone acted so quickly at the last meeting, at our regular meeting. And so I was fine. I just went ahead and shared what was coming in as the meeting was progressing. And so I think that the biggest concern is losing money. And because, we don't have a big budget as it is. So that's the biggest concern for most of the mayors is just losing money, and then the roads, right? But then those roads, we don't even actually get the money for. All of that road money goes directly to DPW. When it comes to the Guam Highway Fund, we're trying not to even use the Guam Highway Fund for the Mayor's Council, which we've been attacked about by using that fund. And so we've asked many times to get us out of that. And so hopefully in fiscal 23, we will no longer see any Guam Highway Fund come to the Mayor's Council, and then we'll all be happy.
Don't hold your breath, Mayor.
You pray, hope, and don't worry. Come on, Chris.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay.
That's that.
Good morning,
Okay.
Speaker.
There you go. Yeah, let's go ahead and get Speaker Terlahi on there, as Mayor Alig left real quick. He was like, "Oh, I'm out." Speaker Terlahi, good morning.
Good morning, and I love that interview with the mayor, and thank you. And good morning, welcome back, Chris, and good morning, KUAM, and good morning all to everyone in Guam. Good morning.
Well, let's just get right into it. I guess your reaction to Mayor Alig's comments relative to your gas relief bill. That I appreciate. I'm sorry, Speaker. Before we start, can you just tell us what's the status of the bill?
Sure. So this is Bill 261, and this is a bill to repeal the liquid fuels taxes on Guam for regular gas and for diesel. And so it would save at the pumps 23 cents. That's how much we are being charged for every gallon, 23 cents. So that would supposedly reduce the prices. The tax companies have come into the public hearing and said that they would reflect those savings to the consumers. So the bill was introduced in February. The hearing was had in April. I put it on as one of the potential items for the session. It hasn't been reported out of the committee. So that's what I'm asking. If anyone can call our appropriations chair and help him, can persuade him to get this out of committee, I would appreciate that, because again, this is supposed to be relief for all the consumers of fuel on Guam, including individuals, families, businesses. And I believe they need this relief right now. And if we are able to do it, and we are clearly able to do this, because we have 68 million in this fiscal year alone in excess revenues. So any losses that repealing this tax might incur can be easily covered by the 68 million. And let me tell you what the losses would be. They're so small in comparison. For the rest of the year, they would only be 4 million. So this estimate that I saw, I don't know if it's the appropriations chair or OFB throw out at 20 million is completely wrong. It's inaccurate. And we're using BBMR's numbers and the Department of Revenue and Taxation's numbers to say for an entire year, the impact would be 8.5 million. So if we take off, half of the year, for this fiscal year alone, 4 million. Can we cover? So the question is, can we cover that 4 million with the 68 million? Yes. Can we also put part of that 68 million towards roads? Of course we can, and we should. And so I see no reason why this cannot be a win-win situation. In the meantime, we have bills coming in for use of this excess revenues during this fiscal year for all kinds of things, for nonprofits, for particular industries, for paying, I don't know, there was some talk in some other media regarding we need to save this money in order to pay salary increases. And I think that's something that needs to be vetted in the next fiscal year budget, that's not a given that we're going to do either or. I think we need to prioritize relief at the pumps. I think this is going to help everybody in their striving to get back to work, to keep working, going to school, taking care of your families. And that's where the impact is, because we're seeing prices rise everywhere. And again, this is the one thing that we can control on Guam when it comes to gas prices, and that is the gas tax. The military doesn't pay this gas tax. The government of Guam doesn't pay it. it's only us consumers who are paying it. And so I'm saying, give them that relief, $4 million for the rest of the year, and continue to build the roads. So that's what I would like this bill to get out of committee and to be heard on the session that we're in right now. That would translate into 23 cents a gallon savings immediately. When you look at we have a $68 million excess revenues for this fiscal year alone, and we're halfway through the year. So we've also had a $143 million excess for the past 3 years. $143 million. That money's been spent on who knows what, but that's what I'm saying. Why not prioritize this for savings for consumers of gas? And then this is not even talking about all the other federal money that we have sitting in the bank right now, also waiting to be spent. And it's obviously not going to any more direct relief than the ones that we've seen. And so I just think that this would be some additional relief to those consumers that they could use right now.
So where's the pushback coming from, Madam Speaker? Because in your pitch for this measure, people definitely need the relief. And so how do we close the gap in the differences that we're getting with the numbers?
Well, I too am trying to understand the pushback because yesterday a bill was introduced very similar by the Appropriations Chair, which would waive the tax for 3 months, 180 days. Yeah, till the end of the fiscal year. And so that's what I don't get. If they're able to do it, why not do it? And why not push my bill through so that we can do it in this session? And why did we need to introduce a whole new bill to do the exact same thing? And I think the question is they don't want to commit to it for the long run. And that to me is, I don't know. That's why I'm saying this is a question for the people of Guam. Do you want to reduce? We cannot reduce gas prices around the globe. We can reduce the taxes on the gas here on Guam. Do you want to do that? And do you want to do that permanently? Do you want us to use the excess hundreds of millions of dollars to repair your roads, to take care of the mayor's people that are taking care of the roads, to take, and for the other purposes that it's currently dedicated to? Or do you want to do we want to continue taxing people to pay for those services that we can cover with our excess revenues? It's 180 days that this new bill introduced by Senator San Augustine, he wants to give relief for 180 days. So of course I support that, but my bill is saying, do it now, put it into this April agenda, a session agenda. We're in session right now, put it in now, give it out permanently. Give it out for the rest of the calendar year and give it out for the rest. Give it out, until we really need it. Then we can consider whether we really need to tax the people on that again. And until someone else can find another solution to reduce gas prices. That's the other thing, right? So we've been waiting for Congress. We've been waiting for, the governor. We've been waiting for lots of people to reduce tax prices. They say it's not possible, but this is possible. 23 cents per gallon. I think that's a huge savings, and I think that's really significant for those who have to, pay at the pumps.
Yeah, like my oldest son would say, I'm down. Sounds good. But do you anticipate a situation, Speaker, where your bill will be left to languish in committee and maybe the Appropriations Chair, the kind of like mirror measure, will advance out of it?
I don't know, but my bigger concern is that while we wait for my bill to move, we are going to spend this $68 million elsewhere. We're going to spend all the excess revenues on other things, pet projects, who knows? And that's what I'm saying. I think it should be a deliberate process by the legislature. I am proposing this be a priority. I guess there are proposals that other things be priority. And that's where I think we need to lay those on the table if that's really the issue. We've given, like I said, we've already given excess money. We put $10 million to war claims, and I'm very happy to have done that. We put, I think, there's current proposals. There was a bill to reduce to increase board compensation. There's a bill to, give it to some nonprofits. And so those might all be very valid, but I think we should find the $4 million for the rest of this fiscal year to cover this liquid fuels tax and decrease the consumers' prices. And we know that the gas prices will continue to rise, and that's why I am proposing a permanent measure. Right? We need this relief until we can find another solution to control gas prices on Guam.
Speaker, I wanted to get just a little comment here on the Hagatna revitalization. So the master plan is before you guys down to the legislature, and I'm looking to hear at our news story. Speaker Terlahi focused on a flood mitigation plan for the city. Just one of many issues senators are discussing. This is a huge plan, right? This is what is it, $500 million?
Yeah, I think they spent $900,000. That's what they said. They spent $900,000. They've paid Matrix on this for the components of this plan. Right. They had originally, in past years, sent different versions of it to the legislature, but not formally, just informally, kind of, this is our update, this is what we're doing. They were never ready to formally transmit that until January. They transmitted it to us. And the plan that they transmitted in January only has 3 components. It has a land use plan. In other words, it lays out all the property in Hagatna and it dictates what uses are permitted on those properties. And then it also included an atlas, which is pretty much, I looked through it, and it's an index of everything that currently exists in Hagatna. So we've got a beautiful atlas index of Hagatna. And the third part of it was, what was that third part? Sorry, I can't remember right now. It is, the guidelines, building guidelines. So these are guidelines that if we pass this means these are the guidelines that this Hagatna Restoration Authority can impose on any new buildings, right? So you have to fit within the new land use restrictions. You would have to fit within the new building guidelines, right? Restrictions. And those are the things. So it was very clear to us that there were other components that were not there, including the flood mitigation, like you said. That's not there. So in other words, this whole plan for Hagatna was built on current flooding conditions. Whereas I was led to believe over many years that they were going to do a flood mitigation study, meaning a study of how we could mitigate flooding to more areas in Hagatna so that we could develop those areas. And which ones were possible, which ones were not, which properties would be impacted or, saved from flooding and which ones would not. I find that to be very important because it's going to affect the uses of these properties and especially the private landowners. So that's one that was not included. The other one that wasn't included was the zoning plan. So they've also developed a zoning plan, which is, they have the authority under statute if this bill is passed, they would have the authority on their own to go and rezone all the properties in Hagatna. So this plan shows how the plan that they have not formally submitted to us it's how would they rezone all these properties. And I just thought that instead of handing over all that discretion or, that those are really legislative. Zoning is a legislative function, land use, same thing. All of those things normally come through the legislature. But in this case, prior legislatures had given this Hagatna Restoration Authority huge powers to determine all of those things by itself. They're going to determine their own governance structure. That's another part of the plan that was not submitted to us. It's like a city council that makes all these decisions, whether, you get to build this type of building on your property, whether it fits within the guidelines, whether it meets the new zoning that they've imposed, whether, you're subject to flooding, so you can't build that type of thing. And so I just wanted to vet that out a little bit better. I wanted to make sure that the landowners of Hagatna who will be impacted, if they could give us a list of those who would be impacted, that they would know about this for sure. And it's going to, they've estimated it will take about $500 million, $550 million to do this, all the plans that they have. So they're not immediately going to complete this. This is something that's going to take years. and it's going to take money. And this is another source of contention for some of the senators, is that they're entitled right now to take all the taxes on improvements and properties in Hagatna and use that for their purposes, right? And so, I had asked, if you have plans, can we see them? What are you going to use this money for? Are you going out for bonds? And so there's rumors that they are going out for bonds. They're going to use that to pledge a bond for certain improvements. And I would like to know which exact improvements are we going to go out for bond for. And again, this is something that would be not subject at all to legislative discussion, oversight, review, any of those after this bill's passed. So I was raising those questions, and I am asking my colleagues to consider rejecting the plan for today and allowing us more time, because we're under a time deadline. It's one of those default approval. If you don't act on it by the end of this session, it's default approved. So I'm asking, just reject it for today. It keeps it here at the legislature. We can review it. We can have further hearings. We can get our questions answered in writing, the ones that we have asked already. And then we can reconsider that, right? When we're all satisfied.
So do you have the votes to get it tabled for now?
I don't know yet. We've been having quite an issue in this session
no
lately.
Way. Are you serious?
Yeah, we've got some members absent. So on the Democrat side, we've got
I thought we had the best attendance in our legislature.
a lot of objections on the other side. So it's hard to move anything. Right. Our amendments failed. That's another thing. So I tried to make some amendments to what I thought would improve the bill. Those all failed. So we've got a bill right now that, if passed, would give all that discretion. They go forward however they decide. Wow. And I don't think that's been vetted enough. That's all. I'm not criticizing their work. I think their work is good. Of course, it cost us $900,000. I hope it's good. And what I've reviewed, of course, is beautiful. There are some beautiful plans for Hagatna. They are very costly. So I would like to know some of the details. And we've only had this since January. The hearing was only held in March. Right. And so, I just think, and we've only had one hearing, and then we went into that committee of the whole.
It's interesting to me, Madam Speaker, that we're this whole revitalize Hagatna, because, I do spend a lot of time in Hagatna, and it almost seems, and maybe this is what warrants it, I don't know, that there's an exodus out of Hagatna, that people are just, moving up further north, whether it's businesses or whatever. Oh, well. Speaker, before I let you go, there's just a couple things I wanted to ask. First, on the war claims, I know that the response hasn't been what you guys maybe were hoping for.
Oh yeah. Well, one more thing is that flood mitigation plan. So that's part of that's the big piece that's not there, right? We're not sure which parts of Hagatna are going to be mitigated or not, or if that's even the goal. That's one thing that I can't understand. They tossed out the Army Corps, who has been working on this supposedly for the last 8 years, and they have been terminated, I guess, from this project altogether. And so the HRRA authority told us they are now going to look to hire Matrix, to contract again with Matrix to do a flood mitigation study. That was it was very surprising, I think, to all of us in there. And I am asking for what exactly is it that the Army Corps did not want to do that they wanted to do, or vice versa? What is it that Matrix is going to show you that the Army Corps could not show you? That type of thing, I really want to know. And I'm hoping it's not going to cost us,
$900,000.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know we had set aside some money for that already, but and you were asking, sorry, Chris.
Yeah.
What was?
I mean, if you did have anything on the war claims, because I know that the response hasn't been as good as you wanted.
Yeah. Okay. I think the war claims is going reasonably well. So what's going on is when they say they had 700, contacts with people, that really just means 700 people who might have picked up the packet. You're right. But we've only really had 52 applicants so far. And so of the 52 applicants, we have actually adjudicated 15. And the majority of them, over 90% of them we have approved. And so, I work with Mayor Alig on that council or that committee, and the community is very efficient. The Department of Administration has been very, very efficient. And so we are adjudicating those claims, and we will adjudicate the next batch coming up. But the only issue that I have seen, I really haven't seen any issue except that some of the applicants don't have a lot of detail. And so I feel like, maybe we can help them more in the intake to just flesh out their stories a little bit more. We've seen this over the years. My office has gone out to different villages trying to assist in this process as well. They're very, it's a hard thing for them to talk about, very hard. It triggers a lot of memories that are very painful. And yet we need to flesh that out of them a little bit to fill the applications and to provide the proof of, that this actually happened, or any kind of, background, just to show a little bit more detail so that we can confirm that this did occur and this occurred. And that's really it. Otherwise, I don't see any issues really with the war claims, except that there were some original projections that there were 700 people that this would apply to, and we haven't seen that many people apply yet. So it's still open. I'm asking everyone to please help, their parents, grandparents to apply, to encourage them to come in. It's a welcoming process, and to just help them get through this paperwork, right? And that I think the committee, if we rejected any, we rejected it for, lack of detail. And so we are, but there's an appeals process where they just can go back and provide more detail. So I'm hoping that I'm glad you asked me, because I really wanted to get that word out, that please provide details. And if you get rejected, don't give up. Go back in there and provide more details. That would be my advice to everyone. And otherwise, I think the adjudication is going well. And we've actually awarded claims. So some people will be getting their money. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, that's why I asked you. I wanted to get the word out and, help you get the word out too.
I'm so glad you had the mayor on earlier, because I'm so happy to hear that the senior centers are opening, and I was glad to hear his support also of the gas tax bill, because that was really one of the unfortunate items at the hearing, is that I think the mayors were made afraid that their budgets would be slashed if we gave this tax relief to consumers. And I don't think any mayor wants to, fund their budgets based on taxes on consumers, right? Especially gas taxes. And when we have more than enough from regular taxes to fund what the mayors needed and the road repairs. So I just wanted to assure the mayors that I think it's been made very clear that no one intends to slash any of the current budgets for road repairs. No one is going to slash budgets for the mayors, or certainly my bill does not.
Okay. Madam Speaker, I'm sorry, because we got this bunch of people waiting. I just wanted to ask just a couple questions. As of now, today, would you be eligible to vote in the closed Democratic primary election?
That's a great question. And that's, that was a very surprise. I'm not sure what their criteria is going to be now to register, and that's my concern. It's like, I think I've been a registered Democrat all my life. I don't know if that still suffices. So of course I ran as a Democrat. I don't know if that suffices under their new declaration, but that was very surprising for me. And that is my concern. I do not want to restrict voters. We have worked so hard, I thought, to include voters, to bring in these 50,000 voters on Guam, to vote on the Democrat side of the ballot. And, but I don't want to put any additional restrictions on them as they, right now, right while this race is happening. And the race is happening. And I'm going to tell you a story. We had some bills that we've passed recently regarding the primary election. This was to save money. This was to make sure that the ballots get out earlier and they would get to those who are serving in the military, for example, earlier.
Yeah.
And the consensus at the legislature was, no, you cannot change these rules, kind of make the elections earlier, that type of thing, because we do not want to impact the current election right? So they put this effective date further down for the next, because at that time, and this was months ago, they had determined that it would impact people who had already decided to run, right?
Yeah.
Under the current conditions. And that's my concern as well. But I'm really concerned that we've made electronic registration of voters possible. We've done it, motor voter registration, right? We've all supported those measures to try to get more people involved in these elections. And I'm surprised. I'm going to look at the details of it, of course, but I don't want to be restricting. I don't want to be putting any impediments or any more hurdles that voters have to jump through. I really don't. Yeah. And this hasn't been done in any of our elected governors. No governor was elected that way, right? In a closed primary. We've always had, the current governor sits from based on an open primary, right? And so I'm just surprised. And so I'm gonna look at it.
You don't got to look at anything. You just keep it where you got it, because we have the Democratic Party chair, Tony Babalta, coming up next. We've got Maria Pangilinan from the Guam Election Commission. So my goal by the end of the show is to get the answers to the questions I think a lot of people are asking, like, can we vote in this closed primary? What does it mean? How do we vote? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you so much, Chris. Take care.
You too. Okay. Enjoy. There you go. Madam Speaker there. Surprised, she said. Surprised by this move from the Democratic Party to close their primary. We do have the chair, Tony Babalta. We're actually sure we're going to take a quick break because I think he's coming in from the waiting room. And we are back with that discussion right here on The Link. It's Wednesday, April 27th. My name is Chris. Good morning on you.
Start off your middays with the menu on KUAM News Hotspot, your preview to the big news items. Broadcast on KUAM TV 8 weekdays at noon, with live stream on our social media platforms, plus an encore at 5 p.m. on KUAM TV 11.
The menu, brought to you by King's Restaurant, always open, always local, and Ruby Tuesday Guam, home of the fresh Garden Bar.
Subscribe to our KOAM News Digest, our weekly email newsletter with all kinds of information straight to your inbox. Just subscribe and we'll make sure to keep you informed and entertained with news from the KOAM News team, what to watch on NBC and CBS, and the latest promotions from KOAM Communications. Go to KOAM.com, click on the newsletter tab at the top of the homepage, register, and you're all set. Brought to you by Uno Go, Guam On Demand.
We're taking care of business with GTA on KUAM Digital. Tips and advice for your business to get more productive, efficient, and streamlined with pro tips, tools, and other services. We're navigating through the best practices in tech, operations, and beyond every month with the help of our friends at GTA on KUAM Digital. GTA, we start with you.
Properties in the Tropics is your weekly roundup of the hottest properties on Guam. Every Thursday, get a virtual walkthrough of homes, apartments, townhomes, and land available for lease, rent, or sale, with a breakdown of the most important info, including cost, features, and of course, location details. Watch it on KUAM News Hotspot at noon on streaming and TV 8, or catch the encore at 5 p.m. on TV 11. You can also check out each installment on Instagram too. Properties in the Tropics is presented by Remax Diamond Realty. The KUAM Care Force, in partnership with the UOG Center for Island Sustainability, Guam Green Growth, and UOG Sea Grant, is proud to present a series of Sustainability Matters features all Earth Month long, including Green Leader Profiles on KUAM News Primetime, introducing you to people in our community leading the way with sustainable businesses and practices. A Think Green Cleanup Showcase on Weekend Edition at the end of April, featuring your events around the island. And Team KUAM is taking on the Sustainable Lifestyle Challenge every Friday on Hotspot. Plus, follow the KUAM News Instagram and Facebook pages for weekly tips from Guam Green Growth. Sustainability matters all month long on KUAM Communications.
We're living in a new world with new ways of communicating, connecting, and moving through life.
Every day seems to be marked with change, and with all these changes, you need trusted people you can rely on for advice and insights about the things that really matter.
Let Gina and I walk you through everything you need to know about real estate, from buying to selling to renting, and all the details in between.
Join us with Jason Solis every week on House to Home.
House to Home every Tuesday on KUAM News Extra, presented by Remax Diamond Realty.
Catch Sports Link on the Link every Friday for the latest sports news, game schedules, athlete profiles, and more. Sports Link airs every Friday on Breeze 93.9 FM and streaming online across our multimedia platforms. Sports Link is brought to you by Mariana's Irrigation and Landscape and Taco Bell. Live Mas.
Sleeping all night, waiting to find a reason for today. It is so hot, I cannot lie. Let's drink tonight. One beer, maybe more. Mixed drinks out on the floor. Beer jam to going crazy. One last drink before I go. So breathe every day. Appreciate.
Hey, good morning.
Everything you have. Don't always any day. 'Cause heaven can wait another day. Heaven can wait. Heaven can wait. Heaven can wait. Heaven can wait another day. Heaven can wait. Heaven can wait. Heaven can wait. Heaven can wait. Heaven can wait.
Hey, good morning. 8:24. Maria Pangilinan, the Guam Election Commission Executive Director, is coming up as the big news. Kind of a little bit before dark yesterday, the release came out, or something came out from the Democratic Party of Guam, announcing that they have voted to close their primary election. And we do have the party chair, Tony Babalta, joining us here in the KUAM News Link Zoom room. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning, Chris.
Hey,
welcome back. Welcome home.
There you
welcome
go.
home.
Thank you. Well, Tone, let's just get right into it. I don't even really know to start, but I guess the best place would be the beginning. So how did this kind of come to fruition? If you could just walk us through the history of this decision to close you guys' primary, and then we'll get into what it means for people who are registered Democrats with the party and everyone else.
Well, it began probably back in 2004 when Republican Attorney General Doug Moylan filed a lawsuit against the Republican Party of Guam, the Democratic Party of Guam, and the Guam Election Commission over a matter discussing. And the case was before former Republican Senator and current presiding Superior Court Judge Alberto Lamarena, who in his ruling ruled that Guam law, I think that prohibits parties from choosing their primary election was unconstitutional, that it violated the First Amendment. And that was based on a Supreme Court ruling, California versus Jones. And in that ruling, he told the Guam Election Commission that the Guam ruled that it's unconstitutional, that parties themselves have the prerogative to choose the type of primary that they want the Guam Election Commission to conduct. And further in the ruling, ordered the Guam Election Commission to, at a time certain, I guess, I'm not sure how operationally that works, but at a time certain, to inform the parties. And as long as the party's bylaws and articles allow for a closed primary or an open primary, and in that instance, everyone had bylaws that allow for an open primary, that the parties themselves can choose. And then the party's responsibility after it's informed and makes a decision has to inform the Guam Election Commission by June 28th before that primary election, I guess, or before that election. And so I found out about it March 10th when Maria Pangilinan sent the party a letter with the attached court case.
Right. Tony, let me just bust in here. Now, to be clear, guys, from what I understand, I think the GECs, they send this letter out every election to the parties, and they say, hey, just so you know, you guys, according to this court ruling, have the option to close your primary, but no one has decided to do that ever, right? Until now.
That seems to be the case. I wasn't part of the party structure or the party's governing body in years past, and so I'm learning a lot. And I learned that they did this, and I found it incumbent upon myself as chairman to. It's not a decision that I make solely. It's something that has to be presented to the CEC itself, which is the governing body of the party, democratically elected representatives of the party, elected by Democrats. And in our bylaws, we have, we have things that need to be met for those sorts of amendments to the bylaws to be met. There has to be a quorum. It should be presented. Obviously, it should be presented. We don't need bylaws to do that. And then a certain number of votes have to be cast in favor or against.
So I guess as of now, Tony, when I read the amendment you guys made, who is able to vote in your closed Democrats only Democratic primary?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Who's able to vote in your closed primary? What's the eligibility?
It would be registered Democrats.
Are you talking registered Democrats who are registered with the Guam Election Commission and declare their party affiliation upon registration, or is there another type of registration you're referring to?
No, I believe it's that. It's one and the same. Like for example, you can be a Democrat but not registered with the party, but you can go in and pick up a Democratic packet and register as a Democrat. And as long as you meet the requirements that are set under Guam law, which is the 250 signatures, and you declare which side of the ballot you want to be on, you're a registered Democrat with the Guam Election Commission.
Okay, so I'm going to ask Maria about that. But, Ton, I'm just going to call like I see it, outside looking in. This was done to prevent Republicans from crossing over in the Democratic primary election. And I know that the thought has been that the Republicans really want Congressman Michael Nicholas to pull out the dub in this primary. And so people are saying that that's why you guys closed it off, to prevent that.
What it does in effect is it preserves a registered Democrat's vote that's cast in favor of a Democratic candidate in a Democratic primary to represent the party in the general election, where everyone gets to choose who the elected leader is, or who ends up getting elected into office and making decisions for the term that they're in office. The Republican primary and the Democratic primary, as we know, is an operation so that the Republican Party of Guam and the Democratic Party of Guam narrows down choices and sends their party representatives to the general election.
Yeah, no, I understand.
The action by the CEC taken last night was to preserve the votes of those voters who have decided to register and affiliate themselves with the Democratic Party. It preserves those votes.
Right. But it also goes both ways. I'm presuming there are people who are going to vote for the incumbent that maybe aren't registered, Democrats, right?
Only registered Democrats would be able to participate in the primary election. That's what a closed primary is.
Yeah. So,
as a matter of fact, there's a recent trend in six different states in the United States where the Republican Party has closed off their primary so that Democrats don't water down a Republican vote. That's in 6 different states. In total, there's 14 states that actually have a type of closed primary. And there are several different types of closed primary. There's a out and out closed primary. There's a partially closed, partially open primary. Different states have different things. Those things we couldn't consider, those different varying types. And I think we could only consider open or closed because Judge Lamarena, in his order to the Guam Election Commission, ordered them to ask the parties what their prerogative is going to be, whether it's open or closed. There was no contemplation in our reading of the judge's order for a partially closed, partially open, a blanket primary, this or that primary. There was no contemplation for that.
What do you think of prominent Democrat Speaker Therese Terlahi's criticism just before you came on that she feels like this is a move that's going to limit voter participation? And God knows, Tony, that discussion, the last election was, dismal turnout by Guam standards. That has been the conversation about trying to get people excited to show up and vote, and then you pull a move like this, and I'm just not sure what the reaction is going to be from the voters, other than the confusion that we're feeling this morning in terms of, like, how do I even cast a ballot now in this closed primary, and what the process is going to be. So I guess just first of all, do you feel like this move is limiting voter participation in our democracy?
I think the decision of the Central Executive Committee is something that ends up energizing the base. I was actually quite surprised, right? So I have about 51 members that can participate in the Central Executive Committee. Only 15 didn't show. And the vote count, there was an overwhelming majority, and there was plenty of discussion during the amendment itself. And there were some that didn't like the change. Change is always difficult, but there are many others who seem to express their frustration over the years, even with the anecdotal story. I don't know that even with the anecdotal stories of a party trying to raid another party's primary election, which is called raiding, right? That's the term of art for it. And there seemed to be some frustrations that were expressed by longtime Democrats that they don't want their vote to be watered down. They want to preserve the vote of registered Democrats to elect those candidates who decide to run as Democrats to be the standard party bearers in the general election, and they bear the values of the party as they are successful out of the primary, elected by Democrats, and put themselves in a position in the general election to be elected by all the people of Guam. But I mean, change is difficult. Yeah. No doubt, change is difficult. But the Central Executive Committee, which is the governing body of the Democratic Party, made this choice themselves.
There was, as I'm sure you saw, a comment from the Democratic challengers, Congressman Michael St. Nicholas, issuing a news release calling this move the latest political move by the Lou and Josh team to deny people their freedom to vote for whom they choose in the primary election. He also singled out the party chair, for proposing to close the primary. St. Nicholas's running mate, Sabrina Salas-Matanani, said, quote, "If the Democratic Party is going to deny people their right to choose, regardless of party, we will rally the people with an independent ticket." I guess your reaction to both those comments?
Well, the entity that made the decision was the Central Executive Committee, which is voted by Democrats to deal with party affairs, of which choosing either an open or closed primary is one of their responsibilities. Candidates themselves running for office need to make their own decisions on whether they want to run as a Republican, an independent, or a Democrat, and I'm sure a lot goes into that sort of thought. I mean, these were representatives. There was very little talk about anything about the gubernatorial campaign, and when there was, I reminded everyone who was representing Democrats from their villages that what's being put before them is not put before them to the betterment or to the detriment of any Democratic candidate that's running for office. What this does is it empowers Democrats and preserves their votes in a Democratic primary to select the standard party bearers into the general election.
Are you worried about the backlash? I mean, I'm pretty sure some people are looking at this and they say, "Oh, they're suppressing the vote in the primary, but we're going to get them in the general." Is the general open though, Tone? Is the general open still? General election's open.
The general is an absolutely open election. I mean, that's where the final decision is made, Chris. Yeah. Republicans, Democrats, independents alike, those who are affiliated, those who are non-affiliated, get to see which candidates were put forth by the different parties, Republican, Democrat, or if there's an organized independent party, and they make the final choice for people to sit into office and be decision makers for the people of Guam for the next 2 years, for the next 4 years, whatever term that they're trying to, whatever office they're running for.
Tony, before I let you go, I did have, there was a question here in the comments. Which congressional candidate is receiving support from the Democratic Party? As we saw, Senator Talina Nelson filed yesterday, but we also know that former Speaker Judy Wampat also picked up a packet for congressional delegate. Can you provide any insight into what's going on with that?
The Democratic Party hasn't made any decision on endorsing any candidates. That's not something that's been put forth in front of the CEC for any sort of decision. I think you kind of have to wait until the registration date for candidates to file to figure out what the final roster is going to be. And I'm uncertain at this point. I'd have to check kind of the historical record if the CEC has made those sorts of endorsements, and if they want to make that sort of endorsement for this coming election.
Last question. Sorry, Tony. In your guys' release, you said that there's a meeting next week, and should this decision, I mean, if there's a chance to reverse this decision, it would occur next week with the vote. Is this going to hold, Tony, or do you anticipate anybody wavering with the conversation that's happening after you guys made this move?
I mean, that everyone would be guessing at that. There was 30 votes, clear, overwhelming majority to close off the primary for affiliated voters who register with the Democratic Party or affiliate themselves with the Democratic Party. I can only go on what occurred last night. I can't game theory everything out. I'm here as party chairman to empower Democrats to keep incumbents in office and try to elect new Democratic candidates into open seats and kind of bring some assembly to the party and resources, and that's what I'm trying to do.
Do you think that this would affect, let's say, someone who's running in this election as a Democrat? Do you feel have to change up their game or their campaign to anticipate this move?
Well, I think if the party is a closed primary, then they're speaking to registered Democrats, and I think trying to espouse as much as possible, kind of to determine for themselves what they believe the registered Democrats of the Democratic Party of Guam believe in and their values and things that they want to see Democrats fight for. I think they do that. It's not unusual from anywhere else in the United States, and if you look at the highest level in office, that's what a Democratic nominee for president would do, and that's what a Republican nominee for president would do. Those nominee slots are chosen by the parties themselves, and we witnessed that during a presidential election where candidates feel a little torn, that they have to appeal a little bit more to the base, and then after the primary election, they shift messaging and start to appeal to more center, right? But it's really the representatives of the party that end up choosing the nominee. And at the highest level, it's Democrats selecting a Democratic nominee and Republicans selecting their own Republican nominee for president of the United States.
Is this how it's going to be?
The vote itself is open to everyone, right?
Yeah. Don, is this how it's going to be for every primary from here on out for the Democratic Party?
I think unless the Central Executive Committee decides otherwise.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Tony.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
There you go. Party
Welcome
chair.
back.
Thank you. Democratic Party Chair Tony Babalta. Let's go ahead and keep it going. Can we get Miss Maria in? We're going to take a quick break, and then we're coming back with Miss Maria Pangilinan, the Guam Election Commission. Tony just said it's going to hold. They had an overwhelming majority. So what does this mean execution-wise for the Guam Election Commission? Looking at the comments, people are confused. Is this something that the Democratic Party has on their own out of, Uncle Carl's ranch or whatever? Or is this something or is this something that the Guam Election Commission has to oversee like a regular election? You know what I mean? Or are we just, it's a free-for-all? I don't know. We'll find out, though, next with the Guam Election Commission Executive Director Maria Pangilinan. It's 8:41. My name is Chris, and I am back. We'll take a break and continue with the link next.
Let us know what's up on our KOM News WhatsApp tip line at 671-727-0094. Share information about what's happening in your town, on Guam or the CNMI, and what you want us to know. Reach us on WhatsApp at 671-727-0094.
Start off your middays with the menu on KOAM News Hotspot, your preview to the big news items. Broadcast on KOAM TV 8 weekdays at noon, with live stream on our social media platforms, plus an encore at 5 p.m. on KOAM TV 11.
The menu, brought to you by King's Restaurant, always open, always local, and Ruby Tuesday Guam, home of the fresh Garden Bar.
Big Ben, Pagaga. Good morning, 846. We did have some comments here on, oh boy, did we, on our Facebook Live feed. Rosemary comments in, this move is like a COVID mandate. Yeah, like it or not. It is what it is, guys. What else do we have here? Mary Duane Smetanani. Why not hold the Democratic primary at their headquarters? She also asked, what proof will GDC require to prove that the person is truly a registered Democrat? Good question. We're about to get the answer. Also on this move by the Democratic Party, it was done last minute, just mentioned in the news this morning as of today's deadline. Yes, so there are the comments there, guys. Keep them coming on our Facebook Live feed. Miss Maria Pangilinan, the Guam Election Commission Executive Director, kind of unpacking this decision. And I guess, Miss Maria, we'll just start at the beginning because there was something that came out from the Democratic Party of Guam, the executive, I'm not sure exactly what his title is, Shirag Bajwani, had come out with a release, and he basically said that we did this because the GEC wrote us a letter. So can we just clarify that, Ms. Maria? Do you guys send this letter to the respective political parties every election? And this letter basically said, hey, did you guys know according to this court ruling you can have closed the primary, yada, yada, yada? Is this something that you guys do every election?
Yes, we do. Okay. So the 2004 Judge La Morena court ruling says that the Guam Election Commission is required to send a letter to the respective parties to ask what kind of primary election they prefer.
Right. And I'm assuming every year you do this, it's almost one of those things where you send out this letter, but you kind of already know the answer. And because it's always been the same answer, at least every election that we send this letter, and the answer has always been for both.
There is no answer. So if they don't reply to us,
then
we
it's
take
open.
it that they want an open primary.
Right. So when you got the reply from the Democratic Party of Guam, was it Kellen Frokout? Did you freak? Like, whoa, wait, they responded?
Oh, well, they haven't responded officially to us.
Okay.
As you may know, it's required to be in their bylaws. So what the Guam Election Commission would need to get is a copy of the revised bylaws. That's by statute that they have to give us a copy of their bylaws every time it's changed. And they also have to let us know what kind of primary election they want.
So, Miss Maria, I guess who's going to pay for this closed primary election and who's going to run it?
So, somewhere in the election code of Guam, within the 21 chapters, there is a section that says that the government of Guam local appropriation must pay for the expenses of the primary election.
Okay. So we, the people of Guam, are paying for this closed primary, whether you're a Democrat, whether you're identifying as Republican, whether you walk around telling people you're a giraffe, doesn't matter. We're paying for this election. Closed, open, whatever, right?
Yeah, it would be the primary election, Chris. And so the primary election will be held on Saturday, August 27th.
Okay. So how is it going to work, Miss Maria? Is this going to be an election where you guys do your regular election stuff, where you're like watching out for fraud and all that? Or is it just under the Democrats, watching Democrats?
We would hire our precinct officials. We would train them. We would make sure we let them know they'll get a precinct official book, manual, and they would have to conduct the election. They're who we are. They're who represents us out there in the 22 polling sites. So there will be 335 of them out there across the 67 precincts, 5 in each precinct. And yes, it will be conducted the same. It will be conducted then. There will be new procedures then. If we get officially notified that it's going to be a closed primary, we would modify the precinct official manual to include the changes that have to be made.
Okay, so we're going to pay for it, you guys are going to run it as if it was a regular election. It's a closed primary. So, Ms. Maria, anticipating that you guys are going to get the official notification from the Democratic Party of Guam, what would be the process? I'm a registered voter. I had you guys with my approval check on my registration status. So just first of all, officially for the record, I am a registered voter, correct?
Yes, okay. You are a registered voter, Chris.
Okay, so when I registered to vote, there's a section there where it's optional. I can declare my party affiliation, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And it is optional. So out of the 50,000 voters that we registered voters that we have today, very few have declared Republican or Democrat as their party affiliation.
How few, Ms. Maria? Because I'm hearing something like 4,000 out of the 50,000 registered voters have declared a party affiliation.
That's correct. So about 2,500 have declared Democrat as their party affiliation, and 1,700 some have declared Republican as their party affiliation.
Okay, so let me get this straight. If this closed primary election was held today, 2,500 people would decide which 15 senators, which gubernatorial team moves on to the general election.
It depends. It depends, because part of the process would be includes part of the part of the court ruling says that the party who decides what kind of election they have would tell the Guam Election Commission how they want the election conducted, but it would be up to the board to decide finally.
Okay, so Ms. Maria, can we just go back? So I am a registered voter. I, however, did not declare a party affiliation. So when I go to vote in this Democrat closed primary, would I be able to cast a ballot in the Democrat closed primary if I did not declare to you guys and to everybody, as God is my witness, that I am in fact a Democrat? If I just left it blank, am I able to go vote for, Democrat candidates in the closed primary?
Again, Chris, it would be dependent on what the board decides finally, based on what the Democratic Party lets us know how they want it conducted.
And so we heard from Tony Babalta, the Democratic Party chair, that that's how they're going to conduct it. It's going to be with registered Democrats. He said it's one and the same. If you're a registered Democrat with GEC, then you're with the Democratic Party of Guam. So I know that's not official and in writing, but I just wanted, so the process, Ms. Maria, from what you know, I show up to vote, and if I am able to vote, how does it work? Do your precinct officials, do I have to say, like, I am a Democrat? I solemnly swear.
Yes, you do. That's by law, and the court ruling also emphasizes that. So actually, the court ruling says that you have to voice out what your party affiliation is.
Yeah, Miss Maria, but we have a lot of conversations, and we've had them on this very air about voter turnout and, making it easier for people to vote, for encouraging the voter turnout. So are you concerned at all about privacy issues? I mean, for a lot of reasons, voters may not want to announce that they are Democrat or Republican or, independent.
Yes, and as always, the Guam Election Commission must follow the law, Chris. And if that, deters the voter participation, that's something that we need to deal with.
When is the board going to meet to decide on these very crucial election issues?
Well, we have a meeting set for May 5th. But if Chris, I didn't check if our public notice came out. If our public notice already got published, then we cannot change the agenda. If the public notice has not been published, I can check with the chair and the vice chair if this would be included in the agenda.
Okay, so Ms. Maria, according to what we heard from the party chair, Tony Babalta, he did say that the party is leaning towards you have to be a registered Democrat to cast the ballot in this closed Democratic primary. So I wanted to ask, given that today, at this very moment, we only have 2,500 people who would be eligible to vote in this primary based on what the Democratic Party chair has indicated their desire is in moving forward. So you mentioned hiring hundreds of people, but if there's going to be fewer people voting, does that, mean correspondingly that we're not going to spend as much on the Democrat primary?
It would not only be a Democrat primary.
So it's everybody at the same time.
Yeah. And Chris, going back to your question, it's not clear to me whether it's the Guam Election Commission voter registry of Democrats, or is it a Democratic Party of Guam list of Democrats that is to be used? I'm not clear on that, and I'm not sure which one they prefer to be used.
Well, I could take a wild guess, but I mean, Tony, the chair said that it was one and the same, that if you're registered at GEC as a Democrat, that you would be reflected on the party list. Is that accurate?
I know, because I remember the Guam Election Commission, at the request of the Democratic Party, we were there as a voter outreach process. And if you remember, at the Hagatna Shopping Center, where people were able to register as Democrats with the Democratic Party, but they needed to be registered voters. So the Guam Election Commission was there to conduct voter registration. And so I don't think it's the same list. They would have a list. The Democratic Party has a membership list, I believe. And the Guam Election Commission has the voter registry, where we've noted who, from their affidavit of registration, indicated their party affiliation. Two different lists.
Oh, wow. So we had a comment here. So Cecile comments in, this is an interesting comment, ladies and gentlemen. If I am a Republican and I want to support Lou and Josh, am I eligible to cast my vote in the Democratic primary?
That's a good question. And it would, we will look into it and see what happens.
Right.
And again, the policies and procedures must be set up by the Guam Election Commission.
Right. So, Ms. Maria, I guess I just also wanted to ask, because we did have a comment here from Rosemary. Are registered voters able to change their party status right now?
Yes, and we're going to double check and triple check our website to see whether it'll crash, because Chris Barnett wants to register, as well as the rest of our 40,000 registered voters. You can indicate your party affiliation by getting on our website at gec.guam.gov and re-register online.
Okay, so this is going to require us to re-register, Miss Maria.
If you want to declare your party affiliation with the Guam Election Commission, and again, if that's how the Democratic Party wants it to be.
Wow, that's a lot. That is a lot. What's the timeline do you anticipate before we have solid answers to all these questions I just asked, which I feel like everyone has the same questions on their mind?
Well, the meeting is May 5th.
Okay.
So if we're not able to change the agenda, then I'm pretty sure, the commission would probably call an emergency meeting to discuss.
Ms. Maria, I wanted to, because there was a response from the San Nicolas Salas Matanani team. I think Sabrina had said something about they were prepared to run on an independent ticket. Can we kind of go into the logistics of what it would take for any candidate? Like, let's say maybe someone's running as a Democrat and they feel like, they would be equally supported by Republicans, right? I mean, in the primary, maybe they want to switch over to the independent, just kind of like stay out of the whole deal that's going on that side of the ballot. So is it feasible? What does it take to
the first? Yeah. So Chris, they would have to file as candidates. When they turn in their packet, we would look at the nominating petitions and validate that the nominating petition says that Chris Barnett is running independent or Jason Salas is running independent, because the people that nominate you are nominating you as an independent candidate for the primary election. So we will look at those nominating petitions. Those must say independent. If you're running Democrat, there's a space on the, excuse me, there's a space on the nominating petition that says Chris Barnett is running Democrat. All that on the nominating petition, the top of the nominating petition should be filled out before signatures are collected. That's really important.
Yeah.
Because, they're saying, I trust that Maria Pangilinan is going to run as an independent candidate for whatever. So that's what we need to know, that the nominator is knowledgeable or knowing that he or she is nominating Maria Pangilinan to be Queen of the Manamku.
Oh, gosh. Miss Maria, I just want to go back on leave. Can I just go? I just want to go back on leave. It's not the day. Miss Maria, I want to ask you, though, from Nestor Lecanto, so many unanswered questions. 4 months to sort this out. Is that enough time?
We always wish we have more time. We have very critical timeline. And one of the most critical for us, the Guam Election Commission was sued, is that ballots must be mailed out no later than 45 days before any election to our military and overseas voters.
Yeah.
So that's a critical thing, and that's something always at the front of our minds here at the Guam Election Commission.
Yeah, Miss Maria. So I'm wondering if I'm one of these are the Uikava ballots you're talking about?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So I'm just wondering if I'm in the military serving abroad and I get wind of this whole situation with the Democrats closing the primary, and I'm not afforded an opportunity to, re-register to declare my party affiliation so I could vote in the primary that I always vote in that's now closed. Do you anticipate lawsuits? Because it kind of sounds like this is like lawsuits waiting to happen.
Chris, the absentee ballot application affords the absentee voter the opportunity to declare his or her party. Right. It's right in the application for the ballot. Yes, it is. It's optional.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. If it's optional for me and I can't, you know what I mean? I'm here, but, there might be someone who's defending our freedom abroad, right? Who didn't fill out that party affiliation thing because, for whatever reason, it's free country. So those people, Miss Maria, are they going to be given the time and the opportunity? I mean, who's going to tell them?
Okay, so Chris, if you're where would you be? If you're out there serving the war,
right? Yeah.
And you wanted to vote in the primary election, you would have to fill out an absentee ballot application form.
Okay.
That application form gives you the opportunity to declare your party affiliation.
Right.
So through the process, even to request for the ballot, you have that opportunity.
So the onus is not on the Guam Election Commission to inform the voters that something has changed and you now got to declare a party affiliation to vote in the primary election. Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying. The onus is always on the Guam Election Commission to put out, education campaign on, and hopefully those education campaigns increase voter participation, and do not deter the voter participation. So with regard to UOCAVA voters, we get just so we get guidance from our U.S. Department of Justice. We do work with them closely. I'm sure they will contact us once they get wind of the situation.
Okay. So when you talk about educational materials, are you guys anticipating pending like an official notification from the party, maybe tutorial videos about, hey, if you're voting in the Democrat primary, then, first of all, if you didn't declare a party affiliation, you got to re-register and declare it, and then this is how it's going to work.
Yes, and with partners like the Link and KUAM, we're really thankful for you, because through you we try our best to do our education campaign through you, who reach the masses.
Thank you, Miss Maria. Is there anything else? I know that we're still figuring this out. Board meeting next week, right? What can you say? I just want, if you could, a message to the voters, Miss Maria, because this is a big change. It's huge. It's never been done before.
That's correct. So please, the Guam Election Commission will work diligently to make sure that we do this correctly. And the Guam Election Commission will push out the media releases so that as much as possible, we will, as decisions are made, as the policies and procedures get set, we will make sure that it's on our website. We will make sure that our media partners get wind of it, and of course, our meetings are open to the public. They will be live streamed, and we do accept comments, and please, keep abreast of what's going on. And who knows, Chris, with all this media coverage, maybe lots more people will show up to vote.
So can a person who's a registered voter as a Republican, can they re-register and they can switch, right? And no problem?
Yes. Okay. Anytime before August 17th.
Okay. So that's the move, guys, as of now. I mean, thank you, Miss Maria. Okay. Keep me posted. There you go. Miss Maria Pangilinan, Executive Director of the Guam Election Commission. So, yeah, the play right now, guys, we had the Democratic Party chair on, Tony Babalta. He said this thing is going to hold. There was an overwhelming majority that voted on this decision by the Democratic Party to close their political primary in order to strengthen the Democratic Party and obviously to prevent those pesky Republicans from crossing over and voting for whoever it is pesky Republicans would tend to vote for in a Democratic primary. We did have some comments, guys. Thank you. Yeah, I did get a WhatsApp here. I think maybe voting privacy might be affected. Yeah, pretty sure. Let's see here. Some of the comments. It sounds like we need a training class to go vote. Yes, I agree. Arthur comments in here. Well, let me just get, there's just a ton of comments. Chris Cave, wow, confusing again. Cecile, so if you're a Republican and you want to support Lou Josh, are you eligible to cast your vote? Yes, you got to re-register and then register yourself as a Democrat. Doreen Pareda, can you change party affiliation between the 2 or 3 parties for the primary and the general fluently? I don't believe so, because like Miss Maria had said, the deadline is August. What'd you say? Yeah, I missed it. The deadline is August. Whatever the deadline to register to vote, I mean, that's the deadline to register to vote for that election. So you can't go and re-register, as a Democrat and then just switch in the general. Because they're not checking IDs in the general. Well, they are checking IDs, but they're not checking your party affiliation. The general election is wide open, okay? That's one thing I do know for sure from this morning. Chris K., wow, confusing again. The Balbins, please tell me where I go to verify my party because I registered like so long ago. Yeah, you can call the Guam Election Commission. You can go to their office at Oka. My mom wasn't sure if she was registered to vote, and we just called over, and she spoke to somebody, and it turned out she was. So yeah, it might just be a good thing, guys. I think to go and check your status, know your status. Wow, I thought we were done saying that, but know your status, guys. Go and check what you're registered as, if anything. I'm not anything. I didn't check any of the boxes for party affiliation. Since the declaration of a party is optional at the time of registration, how can we find out if we have declared a party affiliation? I just told you. You call the election commission. You say, "Hey, my name is so and so." They might ask you, to prove your identity, and then you would say, what party did I register as? Not online in person. Yeah, that's a good call too. You know what I mean? Just for safety. Guam Election Commission. They're located. If you're coming from GPO, you would turn at St. Anthony to go to Oka, and then right before you get to Oka Payless, they're it's like a big circular building. Used to be the former Club Men's Power, according to Jason Solis. Malia comments, sounds like we need a training class to vote. Yeah. Rosemary, this is so discouraging to voters at this point. Downright ridiculous. Matcha, Chris, the administration has always been about lining up, fill up this and that, turn in this form and that, now register this and that first, make the people of Guam stress out, chickens running around. Rosemary, we need GEC to answer this now. Tony Guzman, remember how hard the current administration made it to get funds to the people during COVID, documents, verification, everything else. This feels exactly the same. Control the people, make it hard, discourage the voters. Yeah, so there are a lot of comments there, guys. But this is just day one, right? I mean, I asked Miss Maria Pangilinan a lot of questions that she was not able to definitively answer. And then part of that is also because, like she said, I mean, Tony Babalta could go on the link. He could go on every show and say a whole bunch of stuff. But until they get it in writing, that's when it officially starts. Wow, it's 9:12? Sorry, guys.
Welcome back, boss.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, guys. It's been great. Hey, my name is Chris. Thanks for jamming with me here on the link. I'm coming back tomorrow. Yes, my leave has been revoked, according to our audience here. So thank you, guys. August 17th, again, is the deadline to register to vote. So, guys, if I were you, you can do it on the GEC website. It's gec.guam.gov. Okay? I mean, it is what it is. If you're not happy with this decision, then all you got to do is go and register to vote and declare that you are a Democrat if you want to vote in the Democrat primary. It's that easy. It's 9:14. Joe, sir, good job today.
Thank you, boss.
Thank you. And, of course, to the team here at KUAM, as always, an honor. My name is Chris. Until tomorrow, adios.
Get your dancing shoes on and be prepared to turn it up weeknights from 7 to 9.